to regular session and executive session of the Yuma County Board of Supervisors, also sitting as all special taxing districts, September 3rd, 2025, 9 a.m. Board members will attend either in person, by telephone, or remotely. We're all here. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Supervisor Lyons, please lead us.
Please join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll move on to call to the public. Call to the public is held for public benefit to allow individuals to address issues within the board's jurisdiction. Board members may not discuss the items that are not specifically identified on the agenda. Therefore, pursuant to Arizona Revised Statute 38-431.01H, action taken as a result of public comments will be limited to directing staff to study the matter, responding to criticism, or scheduling the matter for further discussion and decision at a future date. Public comments may be made in person or submitted by email at publiccomment@yumacountyaz.gov. The email forms of public comments will be accepted until 8 a.m. the morning of the meeting. All public comments will be read out loud during the Yuma County Board of Supervisors meeting that starts at 9 a.m. This is we have.
Yes, we received 2 emails. The first one is from Joan Koblas regarding the billboards on Highway 95 corridor. It reads, I object to allow billboards on our scenic corridor along Highway 95. We are bombarded with advertising almost everywhere in our lives, along all our urban roadways, in our email, in our social media, on our TVs, on our radio, etc. There are only a few places where we can drive along and look at our beautiful scenic desert. It is unconscionable to fill up all our environment with advertisements everywhere. There should be a few miles of roadway where ads are not allowed. If advertisement is allowed, I will personally make sure I do not patronize any business that trashes up our beautiful desert corridor with their ads. The second email is from Paul in the Foothills regarding the Highway 95 visual corridor. It reads, please restore the original extent of the Highway 95 visual corridor from Avenue 3E to the county's northern boundary. Please protect this beautiful part of Arizona.
Thank you, Catherine. Anybody else from the public that wishes to address? I do have a speaker form for an agenda item. If you don't want to, I can call you when the item is presented, or unless you want to speak right now. And this is for Brandy Wright. Do you want to do it and call to the you wait? Okay. Yeah. All right, I'll do that. So anybody else? Oh, Supervisor Lyons.
Just wanted to take a moment. I receive several calls every time it rains, complaining about various conditions. And this time I received a call from one of our water districts, and they wanted to compliment Public Works on their exceptional work in keeping the runoff out of the canals. So I wanted to take a moment to thank you for that. And I know that they called you personally, but just wanted to point it out that you got some very happy constituents out there. So thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm going to jump on his real quick. I want to thank you for the job you and your people have done. East County especially, they got hit especially hard with the storm and runoff, and lost just about every crossing on the Gila River. And you guys got those back in quick, and especially with lettuce season coming. So you guys did a great job, and I also want to thank Walton Mohawk for their help in getting those roadways back open.
And I want to jump on that as a developer and tell you that retention basins are there for a reason. When cities and towns start to make them little city parks or little neighborhood parks, they cease to be retention basins. I've seen some of the retention basins not work as well as they should. because they have playground equipment on, which is submerged by water by the time of the storm ends. So I just want to caution cities and towns and counties so that they're called retention bases for a reason.
Oh, then they become pools, Tony.
And they
Yeah,
become-
they are
Yeah, they
pools.
become
I was
pools for a
gonna
while.
say, those are fun when they're halfway
You guys
filled
are
up.
not big enough.
Kayaking.
No, I just want to make sure that everybody remembers that there's a reason why they're called cities and towns. And you can, as a developer, you're guilty of your own success when you turn them into city parks before you turn them into the city. You seed them, you make them green, so they become practice fields, they become all those things. And when it rains, though, they cease to work as retention basins. So before we have a flood that will create some damage to some of those houses, I'd like to just make that point if I can.
All right. Moving on to presentations, proclamations, and appointments. During this segment of the agenda, board members may discuss the presentations and proclamations and may announce appointments to the Yuma County Planning and Zoning Commission at the Yuma County Board of, and the Yuma County Board of Adjustments. No legal action will be taken. Anybody has any appointment?
I have another point.
Okay, we'll move on to item 1 on presentations, and we have Chairman proclaimed September 15 to October 15, 2025 to be Hispanic Heritage Month in Yuma County. And we'll have Mr. Supervisor Reyes read the proclamation.
It's an honor for me to read this proclamation. We've set up a sort of like a, what do I call it, a tradition of naming September 15 to October 15 as National Hispanic Heritage Month. We don't call anything national because I don't think we have the power, the authority to call for national. But when I read it, you will understand why it's called national. On August 17, 1998, Public Law 104 authorized President Reagan to establish September 15. So October 15 is a National Hispanic Heritage Month. And whereas the National Hispanic Heritage Month is an opportunity to celebrate a legacy of traditions, rich culture, and honor the significant achievement of our Hispanic and Latino American communities. And whereas Hispanics are the largest ethnic minority group in the country and make valuable contributions to the community in business, industry, government, education, the science, arts, and faith. And whereas Hispanics have served with distinction in the military conflicts since the Revolutionary War and continue to defend our country today as members of the armed forces. These brave men and women bring us honor, and we're grateful for their service and sacrifice. And whereas the respective backgrounds of Hispanic and Latino Americans are an integral part of Yuma County and have made enormous contributions to our diverse society by sharing their talents, culture, traditions, and their deep connection to family values. Therefore, the Yuma County Board of Supervisors proclaimed September 15 to October 15 to be Hispanic Heritage Month in Yuma County. And I'd like to have this proclamation be turned over to the Mexican Council, which is the Mexican Council.
We have another one, so we
So
can
we'll do it
take them
together.
both.
We'll take them both
out.
together. It's available here. And as a last statement we made about this is a 63-65% Hispanic community. The fact that we honor those services is a reflection of what this community is made of. And I think it's great that we do that and reflect our deep commitment to diversity, to a community that acknowledges the fact that they contribute a lot. Without them, there wouldn't be food on our tables. Without them, there wouldn't be a lot of things that we sort of enjoy without thinking about where it comes from. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Reyes. And we do have Dulce Maria Valle Alvarez, Mexican consulate here, consul, and I'll read the next proclamation, and then we can go out down, take a picture, and hand them to you. Item number 2 on presentations, Chairman proclaimed September 16, 2025 to be Mexican Independence Day in Yuma County. Proclaiming the day of September 16, 2025 to be Mexican Independence Day in Yuma County. Whereas on September 16, 1810, Father Miguel Hidalgo gave the memorial Grito de Dolores speech in Dolores, Guanajuato, Mexico, which marked the beginning of a long journey towards independence. This day is celebrated as Mexican Independence Day, and whereas on August 24, 1821, the Treaty of Cordova was signed, giving birth to new and independent nation led by Agustin de Iturbide, who was appointed after leading victorious Triumvirate army into Mexico City. And whereas Yuma County has a historic relationship with Mexico based on strong social, cultural, and economic ties, and whereas this family-friendly and civic celebration is designed to educate the border community about Mexican history, empower and serve as a link between the Mexican community and local nonprofit organizations and services, and whereas the Mexican community as part of the growing Hispanic population in the Yuma County is an important and active participant in Yuma society's culture and economy. And whereas Mexican Independence Day for Yuma citizens of Mexican heritage to celebrate their culture by honoring the rich history and traditions and spirits of Mexicans. Now, therefore, the day of September 16, 2025 is hereby proclaimed to be Mexican Independence Day in Yuma County. And we have Dulce Maria Alvarez, the Mexican consulate here. If you want to say a few words, coming up.
All the members of the council, of the board, Mr. Martin Porchas, Jonathan Lin, Darren Simon, Tony Reyes, my friend, Lynn Pancracy, yes. Thank you very much. Really, for me, it's a pleasure to be here. Also, Jan, all of them, my friends, my gratitude. And I have the honor to be here. If you don't mind, I will speak in Spanish because it's the Hispanic Day, the Mexican National Day. So, para mí realmente es un honor encontrarme nuevamente aquí para recibir ambas proclamas, la del Día de la Independencia, 16 de septiembre en el condado de Yuma, y la de la Hispanidad. Me referiré primero al Día de la Independencia muy brevemente, porque es una celebración, usted ya lo dijo todo en su lectura, señor Porchas, pero para nosotros reunirnos cada año para recordar el inicio de la lucha por la independencia que duró 10 años, pues es muy importante, ya que es parte de nuestra identidad nacional. Yo creo que esta celebración nos da un sentido de pertenencia y al mismo tiempo de orgullo nacional, lo cual se vuelve mucho más emotivo cuando vivimos en el extranjero, cuando estamos fuera de México. Las personas mexicanas por nacimiento, por naturalización, por convicción, o las gentes que simplemente tienen simpatía por mi país, nos unimos a festejar este hecho histórico con música, con baile, con cantos, y esto nos permite tener un reencuentro con nuestra historia y con nuestras raíces. A nombre del Gobierno de México, agradezco mucho esta distinción y, bueno, voy a aprovechar el foro para invitar a todos los presentes, a los miembros del board, a todos ustedes y al público presente a la fiesta nacional que la vamos a celebrar el viernes 12 de septiembre en el Centro Cívico de Yuma. Las puertas van a estar abiertas a partir de las 5 de la tarde y todos son bienvenidos. La entrada es libre. Vamos a tener expositores de productos del condado de Yuma, alimentos o cualquier otro producto, y después tendremos todo el elenco artístico más el acto cívico. Están todos cordialmente invitados, de verdad. Respecto de la amable proclama sobre la hispanidad que tuvo a bien leer el señor Tony Reyes, le agradezco muchísimo todo lo que dijo, sus palabras. Para nosotros, los latinos, los hispanos, es bien importante que las nuevas generaciones siempre recuerden el año de 1492 como un momento en que se produjo un encuentro brutal, hay que decirlo, pero también muy interesante, que nos llevó al mestizaje actual. Y ese mestizaje no es más que abrazar las profundas diferencias. Entonces yo creo que esa parte es importante y el que ustedes nos hagan el honor de darnos esta proclama es también un reconocimiento a las grandes aportaciones que han hecho los hispanos a Estados Unidos en todos los ámbitos. Yo creo que eso es bien significativo. 1968, 1988 que mencionan, son fechas que debemos siempre recordar, porque a partir de entonces celebramos aquí en Estados Unidos cada año durante un mes, del 15 de septiembre al 15 de octubre, la hispanidad. Hispanidad es muy amplia. Somos 21 países en el mundo que hablamos español, pero como lengua oficial. Pero hay otros que también hablan español, uno de ellos es Estados Unidos, donde hay 60 millones de hispanoparlantes y yo siempre no me canso de decirlo, el año pasado la cifra era menor, pero revisé el censo y ya aumentó, 60 millones, y eso representa que aquí Estados Unidos sigue siendo el segundo país donde se habla español. Primero es México, con más de 127 millones de habitantes, pero el segundo es Estados Unidos, con 60 millones. Después ya vienen todos los demás, inclusive España, pero nosotros dos es donde hay más hispanoparlantes y creo que el Instituto Cervantes, si algún día entran a la página del instituto, van a ver cifras muy interesantes. Por ejemplo, es el 7,5% de la población mundial que habla español. No es nada insignificante. Y también ahí menciona el instituto que es uno de los idiomas más importantes dentro de la Organización de las Naciones Unidas y también en la Unión Europea. Para que vean la importancia del idioma español, no le llega al inglés. El inglés efectivamente es el más hablado en el mundo y es el que tiene más influencia en el mundo, ¿no? De lejos. Pero el español no se queda atrás, es muy importante. Entonces, le agradezco muchísimo que se recuerde esa hispanidad, que no nada más viene la cultura hispana, sino el idioma, que es sumamente, como lo he dicho, relevante. Hay, además del poder institucional que mencioné, que es el poder de las instituciones internacionales como Naciones Unidas, está también el poder económico, los datos económicos que muestran que la comunidad hispanoparlante representa el 9% del Producto Interno Bruto mundial, ¿no? Y que los países donde el español es lengua oficial contribuyen en un 6,2% a este indicador. Entonces no es nada irrelevante. Yo creo que es muy importante para que se sientan orgullosos. Con esto culmino agradeciendo otra vez a nombre del Gobierno de México este reconocimiento y la distinción por el Día Nacional. Y quiero decir una frase de un escritor colombiano que a mí me gusta mucho, que es Gabriel García Márquez, que dijo, la vida no es la que uno vivió, sino la que uno recuerda y cómo la recuerda para contarla. Yo creo que es una frase muy ad hoc con la historia. Muchísimas gracias, de verdad.
¿Quién
Gracias.
toca el grito?
I need to make a motion, we get away with the industriousness, that was pretty tough. So, it's been tough for years to mention the word industriousness.
And, muchísimas gracias. Es un honor para nosotros presentarle esta proclamación. Mexican Consul Dulce Maria, she talked about both proclamations, explaining what they meant. It was interesting because she said, I didn't know this, but there's like at least 60 million or over 60 million people that speak Spanish in the United States, and that's including Cubans,
Most of them like this.
but,
Yeah.
around the world.
Yes,
Ajá.
es
Oh.
600 millones en el mundo
Ajá.
hablan español.
That speak Spanish. That's a lot. Yeah,
Y-
that's a
y-
big
In the
number.
United States is the second one, there are 60 millones.
60 millones, So, but yeah, that was, I didn't know that, so. We'll go ahead and take a picture, give you a hand,
Thank you.
the proclamations. And, let me, before we do that, she did mention on Friday, September 12th, from 5 to 9, at the Civic Center, they have a, Mexican consulate has a festivity, an event that to celebrate the 16th of September. It's open to the public from 5 to 9. They have goodies there. They have music and folkloric dancing. It is really nice. I encourage you to, if you have time, to attend Friday, September 12th from 5 to 9.
Yes.
They'll have the traditional grito.
Yes.
Because the 16th of September is like the 4th of July in Mexico. I get your wallet today.
Yeah.
I think my wallet's in the front, so I'm okay.
Thank you again very
Which
much.
was what?
Oh, thank you.
Which was my wallet.
Thanks
Boy,
for
it was-
your time and for everything. Thank you very much.
Gracias por la carta.
No, al contrario, yo
Go ahead, guys. I'm the last one in. Oh.
And after this brief interlude,
Moving on to item number 3 on presentations. Chairman proclaims September 2025 to be library card sign-up month in Yuma County. And we have
Me?
Supervisor
No, it's Lynn.
Lynn.
Teacher.
Oh, yes.
Supervisor reading
I
the-
love my library card.
where's my big car? Oh, there she has it.
Mhm. I use my library card quite often, and I use the library facilities for all my meetings. So the library is always full. And when I taught school, I used to take my kindergartners over to the, now the Heritage Library, and do reading time. So I've utilized the library for a good number of years. For quite a long time now, so. Proclamation, proclaiming September 2025 as Library Card Sign-Up Month. Whereas libraries are foundational to education, imagination, and opportunity, offering everything from early literacy programs to digital tools that support lifelong learning and personal growth. And whereas libraries help individuals navigate life's challenges by providing trusted information, digital access, job search support, and connections to essential services. And whereas libraries contribute to thriving local economies by equipping job seekers, entrepreneurs, students, and creators with tools and training to succeed. And whereas library resources help households save money, reduce waste, and make sustainable choices, all through the simple power of a shared public good. And whereas a library card opens doors to endless possibilities, from books and technology to lifelong learning and imagination. Now, therefore, the Yuma County Board of Supervisors proclaims the month of September 2025 as Library Card Sign-Up Month in Yuma County, and encourage everyone to sign up for a library card today.
Thank you, Supervisor
Yes.
Santos, and we have Ashley Jones, Library Director here.
With the oversized card?
You make it, you want to make a statement at the end.
Good morning, Chairman
Good
Borges,
morning.
members of the board. I'm Ashley Jones, Library Director. I want to start off from the Library District just saying thank you for taking the time to announce this proclamation. Libraries are one of the few places that are left that everyone's welcome regardless of social economic status. We provide not only books, which is what people mostly think of us as, but we provide job help, creative outlets, resources for the community such as meeting spaces or study spaces, and we're constantly looking at new ways to improve the library for our community. We have many new things that are coming in this fiscal year that we're actively working on. One being sensory-friendly spaces for families and children with autism that will provide a space for them that will eliminate that overstimulation of all the other things that are going on. And that is thanks to help with our Library Foundation, helping us provide those spaces. But that's just one of the things that's up and coming. Our seed library is expanding into East County. We are actively working on getting it into the Foothills Library currently. So we're constantly growing and evolving, and we are always thankful for the support that you guys provide us, as well as the other parts of Yuma County who are also recognizing us this month and giving us the opportunity to share some of those resources that we provide. So thank you very much.
One of the things that everybody knows is that I'm not a very great advocate of surveys. But every time we do a survey, the library ends up on top of the most popular service we have in Yuma County, right after jails. No, I'm not kidding. No, the library district always ends up at the top of every survey that we make, the satisfaction survey, the way people use it, the way the library is. So we're really, really proud and I like to think that people in Somerton think their library is like Somerton Library or the family's library. I know they think of it as their library. And that's really kudos to the people who run them because in essence, they're county facilities, but they seem to be community oriented all the time, which is something that I take pride on, which is difficult to do when you go up to the library and they tell you, where are you from? You say that you're from the county and you're like, what, from the county? And libraries are really, really assets, really good assets to us. They have become the places where people vote. They have become a community hubs that they're indispensable as far as I'm concerned to these communities where they're located, especially in the county where people don't have to figure out, they only have to figure out where the county is, not what the county is, where the library is, not where the county has a library. Thank you very much for all you do. Appreciate it.
Marty?
Just
The community realized the importance of libraries when they passed the bond that allowed for all these libraries to be built. Welton, Somerton, the Foothills, Yuma, Maine, and the fixing up of the Heritage Library. So our county and our community realizes the importance of libraries and all the things that they provide. And I'm proud to be a part of that. So yes, and it is. It's wonderful, and everybody should have a library card, not just kids.
Doesn't cost you anything to come and get one
No,
or to
it
use those
isn't.
resources.
It's free. I carry mine all the time. So
And countywide, we read 411,686 minutes for the summer reading program this year.
yes. Oh, good. The kids did. Yes.
Yeah, kids and adults.
And adults.
Numbers across the
Okay.
board were up this year. So
You log
we're
your time,
very
Lynn?
happy.
No, I didn't log my time. Oh heavens! I only get to read this kind of stuff. Unfortunately.
thank you, Ashley. And, for all you and your staff, what all you do. And
This vote for you.
we do there, and Somerton does have a library, and it's called Somerton Library.
Oh, I'm
Because
sorry.
it
Did I
belongs to
forget Somerton? Did I forget Somerton?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
So it's not a county library?
it is a county library, but the name is Somerton Library.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Can you give that card to Tony?
Yeah.
I think
That's the only
yeah.
card I can't lose. No, it's good. Just go down there and.
We'll attach it to your key ring.
The only thing I can't lose. by library card.
Right? Yeah. Make sure he always has it. We'll let you hold it.
I'll hold it for a little while.
All right.
It's one of those
Okay.
checks that you hold. You can't cancel it.
Tell me, you hang out report back that you actually read a book.
Right?
Yeah, you read a book. Like 2 months ago. Estoy pensando en Día de los Muertos.
It's horrible.
I know, huh?
En Las Vegas es el 15, pero el 14.
Contra.
I know, contrary to everything you've been talking about.
My mom watches. Why did you let Liddy go up last?
Oh, did she?
Moving on to item number 4 on presentations, and we have another proclamation, Chairman proclaimed September 2025 to be Yuma County Preparedness Month, and we have Supervisor Simmons.
Have that one.
Prepared.
Proclaiming September 2025 as Yuma County Preparedness Month. Whereas Yuma County Preparedness Month creates an important opportunity for every resident of Yuma County to prepare for and protect their homes and communities from any type of emergency, including natural disasters, public health emergencies, man-made disasters, and potential terrorist attacks. And whereas September is National Preparedness Month, and we encourage all Yuma County residences and businesses to take important preparedness steps to prepare for emergencies for themselves, their families, and their community. And whereas emergency preparedness is the responsibility of every resident in Yuma County, all residents are urged to make preparedness a priority and work together to ensure individuals, families, and communities are prepared for disaster and emergencies of any type. And whereas all residents of Yuma County are encouraged to participate in citizen preparedness activities, asked to review the Ready campaign's website at ready.gov or listo.gov in Spanish to become better prepared. Therefore, the Yuma County Board of Supervisors proclaims September 2025 to be Yuma County Preparedness Month, and encourage all residents and businesses to develop an emergency plan, emergency kit, and work together, creating a more prepared society.
I think the word prepared came out like 20
Yeah, it
times.
was getting kind of a tongue twister there for a minute.
Yeah, it's prepare for this. Tony Padilla.
And we-
Yeah. Are you prepared?
Are you prepared for this?
Vice Chairman, members of the board, Tony Padilla, Emergency Management Director. Really appreciate you declaring this month as Preparedness Month. We expect our community to be prepared year-round. We, as emergency management, and then we also have Yuma County Emergency Preparedness, Public Health Response. You got your own name. I know you changed your name. But they deal with the sickness stuff. We deal with more of the natural man-made stuff. But we want to remind everybody that we have disasters or we have incidents that occur in our community. We need to be prepared for that, and it starts local and ends local. As you know, we can't expect the state or the federal government to come and save us when we have some type of incident. Usually, it's always handled locally. We're very fortunate to have those first responder partners, public works, law enforcement, fire, other industry out there that comes out, especially in the Eastern County. A lot of the industry comes out and supports that. I just got off the phone with out there in East County, worried about some sandbags, and we're coordinating getting them some additional stuff. They already have some out there. We're going to get them some additional stuff out there. But as you know, this last year wasn't very good to the country. We've had floods, we've had major wildfires, and fortunately for us, the fires we do have usually tend to be along the river area, and we did tend to have water like that. But we're asking this year is preparedness starts at home. That's the phrase they're using nationally. And so we're asking, you mentioned some of those things, is knowing the risk of our community, what things that can happen here, whether it's an earthquake, whether it's flooding, whether it's high winds, be prepared for that. We try to put that information out ahead of time to get people in that mindset to lock down the gates, lock down the trampolines, end up in guide wires, things like that. We want people to create an emergency plan, as you talked about. They can go to ready.gov or listo.gov and get the emergency plan templates and create those. We want people to obviously build an emergency kit, not only at home, but also at work or carry it in your car. And then also getting involved in our community. You're gonna meet a couple of our CERT members that'll probably be up here for the photo session. We also have ham radio operators. But there's other ways they can get involved in their community, whether it's volunteering for the hospital, volunteering for some of the law enforcement agencies, or volunteering for Red Cross, Salvation Army. They could always use volunteers, but get involved in your community, and then also take the time to prepare yourself, take an IS classes, independent study courses through the FEMA.gov independent study courses. So we're there as a branch of not only for the county, but also for the other communities within Yuma to ensure that we provide them proper training, proper education, and then any other aspects they may need. We try to seek those things out to make them better prepared. It's a good partnership that we have throughout the Yuma County. And as you know, without them, we can't do those things. So, anything else you want to say for public health, emergency preparedness response? I got it right. But thank you guys for your support all year long.
Mr. Chairman, Tony, how many CERT do we have? How many CERT members do we have here in the community?
Currently, we have probably about 12 to 14, I think.
How many more would you like to see?
Oh, at one time before COVID, we had up to about 35. And we had them on South County, we had them in East County, but we tend to lost a lot of that during the COVID. We keep having the training, but we're recruiting probably 3 or 4 out of every class.
All right. Would you call that to our attention for your next couple classes?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Anything else for Tony?
No, just thank all of our volunteers that come out and do the training that they do and learn what they learn, so they're available to help us when we need it.
Does everybody get a nice shirt, Tony?
I like those shirts.
Does everybody
yes.
get a nice shirt?
If they decide to become a CERT member, they
Okay,
do.
all right.
Or a ham radio
I
operator.
just want to know what the deliverables are. That's it.
We just got shirts for our ham radio operators. They'd never had shirts before.
What can we convince them? All right.
Yeah.
Prepare yourself, I'm coming down. Oh, didn't realize how many people were here. In the back. Between you two guys, 'cause I know that one.
Everybody in here.
Yeah, hi. Good, perfect. Thank you, guys.
Nice to see you here. Nice to see you.
Good to see you so well prepared.
Moving on to
Smaller, I know that.
item number 5 on presentations, and we have presentation of
This for financial.
Yep, financial services, yeah.
okay, yeah, presentation on the Yuma County Library District refinancing bonds by Chief Financial Officer Humberto del Castillo. Humberto?
You.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, good morning. I'm Humberto del Castillo, Chief Financial Officer, and today I am presenting the results of the Library District bond refinancing that this board authorized earlier in the year. This initiative was completed with the sale of the Series 2025 bonds in August 11, and I will walk you through the purpose, results, and impact of this transaction. The purpose of this presentation is straightforward: to provide you with a concise update of the refinancing of the 2015 and 2016 Library District bonds, which led to the successful outcome of the Series 2025 sale. This refinancing reflects the board's proactive role in long-term financial planning and oversight, and it demonstrates how careful financial management produces measurable benefits. This refinancing was a responsible, forward-looking action, It strengthens the library district's financial stability for years while keeping tax rates steady. It is a good example of how we can manage debt. Earlier this year, the board authorized a refinancing effort. That authorization allowed us to move forward with the sale on August 11th of 2025, issuing new series 2025 bonds to refund the older bonds, the 2015 and 2016 series. By taking this action, the board gave the county the ability to act when market conditions were favorable. And I will tell you, market conditions started favorable, but it was a roller coaster. Our net present savings value went from being almost 4%, then we went down to 2.2%. It maintained that rate, and finally, when the market was a little favorable and we were over 3.3%, we pulled the trigger, and we successfully achieved a 3.3% net present value savings. The result exceeded the expectations. We achieved 738,000 in net present value savings. As I mentioned, that's 3.3%, exceeding the board's approved 3% savings threshold. The total debt service savings came to 865,000. The structure of the refinancing provides about $100,000 in savings each year, or about half cent per every $100 of net assessed value. Finally, the bonds were issued with a true interest cost of 3.145%, reflecting a favorable market execution. So, what does this look like? We have a debt schedule here in this slide, and on the second column, we have our prior debt service. That column is telling us what would have happened if we didn't do anything, no action. Our debt service on the third column is our current debt schedule. This is the new debt service now with the bonds being refinanced. And the next two columns are showing our total savings with a total at the bottom of $865,000. And the last column is our present value or net present savings of $738,000. This reflects the clearly measurable results of the actions the board authorized. So what does that mean to taxpayers? It means the library district will see direct annual savings of about $100,000 each year, and those savings are achieved without raising taxes. And they are provided, they provide planning flexibility for the future. This structure also helps protect against potential future increases, ensuring that the library district can maintain rate stability while continuing to meet all the community needs. Some of the key dates in this process, well, we closed the sale very recently on August 27. That was the official closing. The escrow strategy, the funds were invested in state and local government series securities. These series securities are a type of securities that are only allowed for local governments to acquire, and they are risk-free. The securities purchased are going to hold the funds until bonds are retired on November 25, 2025. The refunded series 2015 and 2016 are going to be formally retired on that date, and then our interest payment, our first interest payment is scheduled for January 1st of 2026. That was already levied in our budget process earlier this year. This successful refinancing was a team effort. So I want to acknowledge the library director, Ashley Jones, the business administrator, Steve Duran, who managed the district level execution, Deputy CFO, Leo Tannery, who was actively involved throughout the process and the execution, and Budget Director, Tony Struck, who provided valuable budgeting forecast and analysis for tax saving scenarios. I also want to thank County Administrator Ian McGehee for his ongoing support and leadership. And congratulations, it was a successful process. It was a short and intense roller coaster. The market was very dynamic, but we were successful in the sale of the bonds. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, this refinancing is a clear example of proactive financial management that strengthens long-term stability while keeping taxpayers' costs low. That concludes my presentation, and I am happy to answer any questions.
Congratulations. No question.
Thank you,
Thank
Humberto.
you. Thank you, Humberto.
My comment would be thank you. Thank you for getting that done. Thank you for lawyering it and helping the constituents of Yuma County.
I just want to finalize the comment by telling you that I think that's why Yuma County is such a great secret financially in the state, because we do all this kind of things really quick. And say, oh, yeah, okay, I don't want to be a victim of all I said. Eventually they'll find out.
Thank you, Humberto. Item number 6, presentation by the Yuma County Public Health Services District regarding the impact of the loss of federal funding on county health programs. Diana?
I see you brought the big one with you.
Hi,
You
Diane.
brought the big one with you. She stands up next to you and the tall one, the
Yes.
big tall one.
Good morning, Chairman Reyes, members of the board. I am Diana Gomez, Director of Public Health, and with me today is Trisha Cannell, and she's the program coordinator for the program I will be highlighting today. So when we had this discussion, original budget item or agenda item, we were talking about the impact, and I wanted to highlight some of the impacts of the funding cuts to our community. And so we've had funding cuts to most of our grant programs, and that includes a lot of the chronic disease management programs, or diabetes or heart disease, a lot like our preparedness program. You just saw the importance of preparedness, and every disaster, natural, man-made, or public health related, eventually becomes a public health issue, because whatever the impact is, we're trying to safeguard the health and safety of our community. It included cuts to grant funding that we used to supplement, for example, our mental health platform, which is a free, the Credible Mind, which is a free online platform available to the community in English and Spanish, where they could learn more about behavioral health topics. So we had all those cuts. We're concerned, obviously, about some cuts to our vaccine program because of accessibility. We want to make sure that people that don't have insurance or don't have access to those services, we can continue to go out there and we don't turn anybody away for inability to pay. And again, these are people that want those services. So I wanted to provide a broad picture of that, but we had those fundings, and most of them, we're working through those. There's going to be some service delivery impacts. We won't be as robust. We won't be able to do as much. But this particular program I want to highlight, because this was a federally funded program that's been in existence in our community since 1999. If you have a child under the age of 25 or younger, your child has participated in some sort of school event, some sort of community engagement activity, but they're fairly familiar with this program. If you're an educator, if you're a member of our community in any aspect, you at some point have come into contact with one service or one activity. This program actually was not funded, zero funding. So we will be terminating all activities related to this program effective September 30th. And so I wanted to highlight this program because I want the community to kind of get a glimpse. And this PowerPoint, I'm going to go through it really fast in the interest of time, but we're happy to have a discussion later about it for more information. But I wanted to acknowledge the hard work that's gone into this program and the impact it's had. It's a community loss. So as I work through these slides, I want to highlight it's been in existence since 1999. It's a community engagement program with the goal and the mission to influence healthy eating and physical activity. So we work with preschool students, we work with elementary school, high school students, and senior citizens. So the impact is across the lifespan. The priorities, again, are community engagement, improving access to nutritious food, affordable food, safe food, and increasing access and awareness of physical activity resources. So the community engagement piece is really important in our field, in public health in particular. If you've ever been, you have a nursing student, you see that teaching model, we believe in action learning, right? Real life exposure, action learning. And in nursing, for example, when you're learning a new skill, you see one, then you do one, and then you teach one. And so when you want to engage and build capacity in the community, that's what you do. You encourage people, you give them the skills so that they can turn around and use those skills and empower other people so that you build that foundation and that base. The focus area, as you can see, is food systems. You can see we work with public housing. We have coalitions, the HEALS Coalition, the Arizona Food Systems Network, and it's about improving food access. They work with community gardens. They actually sponsor community gardens, food pantries, and there's a lot of partner coordination because none of this can happen in a vacuum. Early childcare, so with the preschool, so you work with several preschools, you teach nutrition right when the kids are little and they're ready to make those choices and starting to discern between a bag of potato chips and some baby carrots. So that's important. School-based, so we work with all the school districts, East County, South County, and you can see some of the things there. The school garden project, you've had food demos in the classroom, nutrition education. Many of you are familiar with Body Walk, which is an annual event. We'll get into that later. Also active living, so partnerships with the different departments of recreation in the different municipalities on how to enhance access to activities, right? Not everything has to have a cost. So there's a stenciling project that you'll see where those of us that are over a certain age remember hopscotch and some of those games that were interactive, right? Not electronic.
Right.
And so going back to that simpler time. And then again, direct education, curriculum-based instruction, where we're teaching kids about physical activity and the benefits, right, from an early age. So you can see some of these activities going out. This is a daycare, but you can see the timeline, and we're happy to forward a copy of the presentation to anybody. But you can see that it starts with, you talk about nutrition, you look up physical engagement, you're working with the teachers, but you're also working with the kids who then go home and talk to their parents. And one of my very first jobs in public health was teaching smoking cessation. And so I remember parents would come to the class and they would learn, but their kids were learning about it in school. And a lot of parents said, my child came home and learned about, they want me to have healthier lungs or nutrition. My kids went to this program. And as somebody that's worked in public health all the time, I could tell you, you're at the grocery store and you have your shopping cart, right? And my kid was going through it and going, Mom, this is added sugar. You should be picking this. And they were just going through that. But they gained that awareness from an early on, right? You can get the strawberries that are natural strawberries and the strawberries with added sugar. And so they learned that early on. Again, these are pictures. They do community gardens. This is a particular garden in elementary or in a preschool. And you can see that the kids are learning about nutrition. We produce so many vegetables here. We're really proud of that heritage. And it's important to start teaching the kids about the importance of, natural food, right? Versus a packaged food or a processed food. So you can see some of those activities. You can see that they have different presentations and training where you grow it and then the kids sample it. And there's just not a pride that compares to a kid who they went through the first process of planting that seed, tending to that garden, and eventually, having, that carrot or having that they grew themselves, right? The pride that you get from that. So in the preschools in particular, you'll see that there's a lot of activity that happens on their staff training, but there's also promoting things like encouraging family-style meals, right? And sitting down at the table and having those discussions. So there's a whole social aspect to it. It's not just the factual nutrition activity, but it's also the social interaction, right? Having that engagement, having those discussions. And those are the things that we try to promote early on. You can see that, they work with schools. They've been recognized as model programs. They've gained state recognition. They're doing incredible work. They've partnered with school cafeterias on smarter lunches to help them either apply for grants, provide for education, or just start selecting options that are healthier choices. They deliver direct nutrition education to students. Again, physical activity, partnering with the different parks and recreation departments and the different community agencies to improve access to that. Designing and implementing support for 12 school gardens. So again, and those gardens are thriving, and again, the kids get to, from the planting all the way to the harvesting piece. So again, since 1999, and you can see some of these kids doing their own food prep, and that's what we want kids to learn. We want the kids not to only just learn about the nutrition, but do hands-on activity. These are some of the stenciling projects. This is a school here in Yuma, in the city of Yuma, but it's happened in the Gadsden School District and other districts across the county. So again, old school physical activity. It doesn't cost anything, but just encouraging kids to get up and move. The things that are now we're talking about that we used to do way back when. And again, introducing kids to those in a fun way. You can see this media post here. Also, when you want to include physical activity, you want to encourage an environment where kids, families are able to do it safely. And so this is a partnership where they partnered with Safe Routes to School that examines the walkways and the sidewalks and the way we want kids to walk to school if possible, right? Weather permitting and conditions permitting. But you could see where in this particular activity, they looked at sidewalks, crosswalks, and traffic flows and identified ways to improve access to walkers, bicycles, and also people that had to use wheelchairs or scooter riders, again, to promote that physical activity. So we're just not telling people get out there and get physically active. We're looking at the circumstances environmental wise that make that possible. And if there's an issue, we want to work with our partners to be able to address it. Again, school gardens, you can see a before picture. And then you can see the end picture. And again, that's just right before planting. And that's at O.C. Johnson, correct? And then again, you can see the differences with how that looks. But again, when you see the kids getting all excited, and again, these at the elementary school level. So again, you could see the building of those. And Vista High School has been instrumental. So the kids there are actively engaged in learning about the policies and promoting physical activity, nutrition, but they're also building those garden boxes. So when I say hands-on interactive action learning, see one, do one, teach one, these kids are doing that. And so to see young people engaged at that level is not only rewarding, but it's exciting to see their commitment, and they get excited when they see the kids and they see their gardens and their final product. So, and then you can see some policy developing and research methods, right? So we try to incorporate that into the core curriculum as well. You could see this example of a food pantry. So through funding through our grant program, Tricia and her team were able to secure additional grants to support this food pantry. So purchase a refrigerator, purchase shelving, connect them to other community stakeholders. They now have this thriving pantry. They had a partnership with the food bank, was it? And they get deliveries now. But a lot of the supplies, the technical assistance, the fridge, the big ticket items that even if you're well-intentioned and that's what you want to do, we help procure through additional grant funding. So those are an example of the differences that you aim to make in a community when different stakeholders come together to fill in those gaps. Physical activity assessment, and that one, you can see the different, like you saw the barren land today, and you make those assessments, and you can see the partnership and the grants and the resulting playground equipment remodel in those schools. So that's just, a few examples, and there's a couple of pictures. So, but you could see how it's simple activities that are going to engage to the students. And again, this doesn't happen in a vacuum. There was a lot of coordination, impact, technical assistant, grant funding, but everybody in the community who's passionate about this comes together in typical Yuma fashion, and they fill those gaps and they bring those visions into reality. So again, working with our seniors, and you see the same garden structure, but you'll notice that these are slightly raised, right? That's because accessibility, that's something I notice now. It's like harder to bend down like I used to. So these are raised so people can go up to them if they have mobility issues. Also, if you're in a wheelchair or something, you can enjoy the garden, you can participate in the garden activity. So you can see that two community gardens were developed at senior housing unit. And again, those kids helping build some of these and giving back to the community. So it's full circle. Direct education, a lot of technical assistance, a lot of community engagement presentations. So again, food demos, food presentations, teaching people how to cook healthier. And again, building that community momentum so that you help a particular community group and then they go out and they expand. Each time you're teaching someone, they are going out and teaching somebody else, and you pick up that momentum, which is one of the reasons this program has been so successful for so long. Residential Leadership Academy is one of the newer initiatives, and you can see that this is a 9-week training program where Yuma County residents can learn how to improve their local communities. And so training sessions focus on general leadership skills, but also crime prevention, safety, land use, transportation, because all those things are going to impact your quality of life. And so again, kids, the people in here learn how to gain those skills, and then they go out, and you can see that this particular academy class led to the development of a community garden in Avenue B and C Colonia, which is thriving, right? Yes. So if any of you want to drive by there and check it out, There's a real world example of how that goes. And Body Walk. Body Walk is an annual event that we put up again for at least 20 years, 25 years. And if you have a kid in the 3rd grade, yeah, they've gone through it. We get community volunteers. So what happens is we have different dedicated modules. The kids walk in through the mouth. They learn about brushing their teeth. They go through the different systems of the body. We have nursing students who typically volunteer, or community members, teachers that volunteer to teach the modules, as you can see. And the kids walk through it and they learn how to keep their heart healthy. They listen, we have stethoscopes, they listen to their heart. They learn about building better bones. Each one has a theme, but it's about making physical, like healthy lifestyles and physical activity and how they can be the best version of themselves, right? And so annually we have about 1,300 3rd graders go through every single year, and 200 volunteers from the community come together to make that possible. So again,
Yeah, I did the bones one year.
you did the bones, so you know how the kids gets totally excited. Hands-on experience, great teaching experience for our nursing students that are going to have to do patient care later. Great for our teachers, great for our high school students to get community hours.
And especially for our 3rd graders.
Yes, those 3rd graders love it. And then farm to family events. And again, this is an annual community event that promotes healthy eating. There's a garden club. This is in partnership with the University of Arizona Cooperative Extension. Again, promoting that agricultural piece, access to nutritious food, important, and knowing, our community. And this is a way of highlighting what happens in Yuma County and how we as a whole are, feed a great portion of our country through the work that happens here in the agricultural community. But again, having kids tour the fields, help harvest, a lot of hands-on education. And again, being active, you can see promoting activities that encourage, give kids the tools to be physically active, and working with community partners through our different coalitions and food alliances. So that was a lot of information, but I really wanted to highlight that program. It's a lot of, it's not just services. I see it as community engagement and a community loss. And so Tricia is here, and she's happy to answer any questions, but that concludes our presentation. And again, we're ceasing all activities at the end of the month. So I just wanted to highlight that.
Mr. Chairman. So in this particular case, you're showing us what isn't going to be available?
Right.
Yes.
One of the things that happens when we lose some funding, a percentage of the funding, we do our best to continue services at a reduced level if we have to, while we try to procure additional funding sources, because we always want to do whatever we can to continue that service, right? It's a needed service. We wouldn't be providing if it wasn't. This in particular was zeroed out. We won't be able to move forward. We have a high level of engagement with every school district. We go to senior centers, and I wanted to highlight the fact that it's not like we're opting to terminate it. It happened, and because all these stakeholders will be reaching out, there will be a gap, and I wanted to explain that and kind of highlight that loss to our community. Now, we're always looking for additional funding. We believe in this, but I think it's important for the community to understand that it's not going to be available, so that when they reach out or
we're going to hear it.
You're going to get calls.
Yes.
You're going to get phone calls, and I don't want anybody to think it was a budgetary decision at the local level, like the board decided or we decided it wasn't for whatever reason.
Vital program.
A vital program, and it's gone, because you can see the impact across the whole spectrum. There's partnerships built and services.
So Diana, for example, the community gardens.
Yes.
They can be continued by the school districts, can they?
Right, the school district can invest in those resources, but school, if you're following funding for schools, we were providing support with seeds and supplies and helping supplement that, and volunteers. So everything could technically continue in a version or form, but everything's contingent on funding. There's not a lack of personnel or volunteers or people that care. It's just resources and how you procure those resources. We were a big provider of a lot of those things that the schools wanted to do, complemented the curriculum, but didn't have the funding to do so.
Well, the O.C. Johnson Community School will be impacted greatly.
So the most likely result is that those services aren't going to be provided by the people, because there's no coordination, there's no funding behind it. So essentially those issues exist because there's no funding behind it.
Yeah, it's a lack of resources. Mm-hmm.
Good way to put it, lack of resources.
One of our goals too,
You have to stand up here.
is to build sustainability in that. So a lot of the education, we're working with those teachers, we're working with the staff to gain those skills as well. But and then connect them with other community members, master gardeners, and other volunteers in the community. So they're not going to cease to exist, but our support of those will cease to exist. So it'll be a little bit more of a challenge for them to figure out if, there won't be that direct education in the classroom for those kids to support, or those training sessions for those new teachers who are coming in who don't know how to do this garden, or how to talk to their students about nutrition and physical activity as well. So,
Mr. Chairman, I appreciate what you put up there, that quote by Coretta Scott King, talking about communities, but I think it boils down to the fact that the local community needs to take more control and be more involved, and not rely upon the state and federal, because we're seeing cuts across the board because of budgets that have ballooned out of control nationwide. So while I appreciate it, I really think it needs to come back to local control, local involvement, without relying upon exterior budgetary factors. We cannot continue to sustain everything out there. It just seems like this was a kind of an attack on the overall federal budget. Federal budget's out of control. We have a budget that we cannot pay for. And so locally, we need to do a lot better to sustain these programs. I'm involved in a lot of things. I know that there are local farmers who are participating in school things. I applaud them, and that's where we need to go.
May I suggest you go into like the Circle K foundations, and those foundations that are not normally thought of as supplying some of these funds, but could be now tapped into by saying, look, the support is gone, so we need somebody to replace it. Before the season of the programs. I mean, I do agree that this requires some out of the box thinking, because some of these foundations, like the Wells Fargo, like the Bank of America, some of those foundations are accustomed to providing funds for things that are more adult based. This one, I think it's a good program. It's an excellent program that will die without support. So maybe it's time we start tapping into some of those local foundations.
The community support.
The community support is there.
And this certainly, right, and certainly this is something to highlight, to bring to the attention about the services that exist currently, how they're funded moving forward, or the reasons for the budget cut. That's for the public to come together. And like I said before, the Yuma community sees the challenge. All those other things happened weren't just because of the funding. It always takes way more than that. So it was just an attempt to make people aware. And again, like you said, Chairman Lyons, it gives people an opportunity to see the services. And if it's something that they're interested in continuing or coming forward at a local level, they're aware that that's there and that's something they can opt to support or not.
One of the partners that you mentioned, Mr. Chairman, was the food bank. The food bank continues to be a significant community partner county-wide. They have had their own challenges just with the cost of food, the availability through USDA. So we see a compression not only in our community, but state and nationally as well. There are tremendous factors that impact all of us. And it boils down to local control and the ability to work together.
I will say that you still need some kind of funding, either state or federal level. I mean, and the reason is this is why, because we have a lot of volunteers, but for how long can they do them? When you stop paying people or to do those kinds of work every year, they won't do it. They'll do it for a little while and then they'll stop. So yeah, there is cuts that we're seeing, but I think a lot of the cuts were not planned and really looked at and see what makes a difference that can really help a community. I mean, just teaching kids how to exercise, eating healthy. How much money could it save in the long run on health issues?
Sure.
The state, the federal. I mean, it just for some. I mean, I honestly think that the feds and state are the opposite. They want us to get unhealthy, so there's always something to complain about. either too much Medicare, too much access or whatever, but it's just not, the way we should be looking at it, or they should be looking at it, is trying to save money in the long run with this kinds of programs.
Yeah.
Well, and Mr. Chair, unfortunately too, I hate to say it, but the younger generation don't want to volunteer their time to try and work through these things. I hate to say that, but you see it every day as far as what generation is getting out there and volunteering their time. And this new generation, they want to be paid for whatever it is they do.
Mr. Chairman, I'll take a moment just to contradict one thing that you said. And last night, about 50 of the youth that I work with went out and took some flyers. They're doing a food collection next week for the Yuma Community Food Bank. So if you want to make a donation, let us know. They collect about 2,000 pounds a year. Please let me know. And that's part of the National Day of Service for 9/11.
Yeah.
So please let me know.
And there are those ones. I'm with the Welton Mohawk Kiwanis, and we have trouble finding people that want to, become part of the Kiwanis because it's donating your time, and it's hard, and it's just the facts of life right now, I think.
Yeah. It's a lot to process, and I think the takeaway again is just the education. And the obviously that there's going to be an opportunity for volunteers, an opportunity for people to come together, but it starts with that level of awareness, and so.
This is an awareness exercise.
Yeah.
Just to let people know that we need
Right.
assistance. One of those programs that are important to you, you need to make sure that they survive.
Minda, did we make you uncomfortable at any time? Did we get off? All right, just making sure. All right.
Thank you, Diana.
Thank you.
We'll move on to item number 7, presentation of the mix with Yuma County and El Condado Informado by Yuma 77, the Yuma County Government Channel.
Welcome to The Mix. Illegal dumping is on the rise in Yuma County, prompting officials to call to the public for help. Debris such as furniture, household trash, tires, and commercial waste is polluting desert areas and other public lands. Authorities warn it's not only unsightly, but also harmful to health and costly to clean. Residents are urged to report illegal dumping and use the county's 4 free transfer sites. Call 928-271-DUMP or 78-CRIME to report. September is Library Card Sign-Up Month, and Yuma County Library District is inviting residents to get their free library cards. Adults need valid photo ID and proof of a local address, while children under 18 require a parent or guardian signature.
When you talk to people, they still tend to think of books with libraries, and that is definitely true, but we're so much more as well. Not only in physical media, but also digital. We have ebooks, e-audiobooks, streaming movies and music, comics, magazines. There's just so much you can do with a library card without even setting foot in the building.
Apply in person or online for an e-card. Learn more at yumalibrary.org or call 928-373-6492. Over the coming months, Yuma County departments will begin relocating to their new building at 197 South Main Street. The new Administration Service Building will gradually welcome public-facing offices. Officials encourage residents to monitor the county's website for updates on which departments are opening and when services will be available at the new downtown location. Yuma County officials are encouraging residents to join the Medical Reserve Corps, a volunteer group that supports public health efforts during emergencies. For more on how to volunteer, here's a public service announcement.
When disaster strikes, the people of Yuma are stepping up. Our goal is to be able to have a strong team that is ready to be deployed for any event necessary.
We will place volunteers where they can make the largest impact.
And you're helping your neighbors. And so you never know the impact that you make.
Volunteering is one way that we make sure that we can take care of our own.
No matter your skills, background, or availability, there is a place for you in the MRC. Join us today.
Thanks for tuning in. Residents can catch the latest episode of The Mix by visiting yumacountyaz.gov and navigating to the VOD section. You can also head over to the Yuma County's official YouTube channel. English episodes are available under the Mix playlist, while Spanish-speaking viewers can find the Spanish version under El Condado Informado. ¿Prefiere ver The Mix en español? No se lo pierda. La versión en español del programa está disponible bajo la lista de reproducción El Condado Informado en el canal oficial de YouTube del Condado de Yuma. Gracias por acompañarnos. Thanks for tuning in.
All right. We'll move on to consent calendar. And the following items listed under the consent agenda will be considered as a group and acted upon by one motion with no separate discussion unless the board members so request. In that event, the item will be removed from the consent calendar for separate discussion and action. And we have items 1 through 12.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion. We approve 1 through 12 before Tony says anything.
I want to take out number 4.
Okay.
And 4 and the one with welcome.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, the number 5, 4 and 5.
4 and 5?
No.
Mr. Chairman, I'll amend the motion. Items 1 through 12 with the exception of 4 and 5.
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second to approve items 1 through 12 with exception 4 and 5. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4.
This was a change order, number 2, to work order number 1, from Anglo Arizona in the amount of $5,271,921, and authorizing the town administrator of the designee to execute the change order for section 7, 13, 14, and 15 of the county dark fiber network. Couple of questions. 1, why is it called dark fiber? 2, what is it funded through the normal channels, or is it an additional charge, $5 million?
Morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Josh Scott, Deputy County Administrator. To answer your first question, the dark fiber is because we're just laying fiber, just fiber optic cable. It'll be up to whoever leases that fiber optic to light it, and that's the technology piece. So the internet service providers will do that portion of it.
Well, it's not called middle fiber, right? It's not called middle mile. It's just dark. It's just
dark, but it's part of the middle mile network.
Yeah, part of the middle
$5
mile.
million, is it inside the budget?
Yes, it's coming from ARPA funds primarily, with some interest earned on those ARPA dollars.
So it's not going to be coming out of the general fund?
No, no, sir.
Thank you. That's it for me.
And it actually is a way for us to receive income that goes directly back into benefiting that system.
No, I understand.
To continue to
But
build
when
it
you
out.
talk about the middle mile, you're talking about something that you need to connect to the service, but it's there, and it's available, it's useful. When you talk about dark, I didn't understand what dark fiber was.
The light is not on yet.
The light is not on yet. It's still dark.
Turn on Tony's lights.
Okay, and the other funding, it comes from the ARPA funds. So
Funds primarily, yes, sir.
So now, having discussed those, I'll make a motion that we approve those.
I'll second that motion.
There's a motion and a second to approve item number 4 as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5.
On the unanimous consent of the Board of Supervisors, authorizes the transfer of 3 surplus vehicles to the town of Walden in the amount of $2,500 each. Now, that is something I wanted to see, and when I saw it, I thought, okay, well, why not highlight it? I mean, it's one of those situations that intergovernmental support, because while it's not useful for us, it's useful for the town of Walton, and $2,500 is not much to pay for any kind of vehicle in any kind of shape or form. So to me, that was that was worth mentioning. It's, I've been looking for something like this for a while, because I think the municipalities, smaller municipalities like Walton, Somerton, and San Luis, probably need our support more than anything else. And us, we have a life cycle that is a little different than theirs. And so while to us it may not be useful, to them it may mean something. And in this case, I think the town of Walton is receiving something from just joining with the county to provide those services to the residents. So I wanted to highlight that, and if anybody has any more comments, I'll make a motion, we approve the item as presented.
I'll second that motion.
There's a motion and a second to approve item number 5 as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Why does it require the unanimous consent of everybody? Is there something in the manual that says that it has to be unanimously consented to?
State statute.
State statute. Also, it's a gift clause thing.
Moving on to discussion and action items. The board will open each of the following items separately for discussion and action as appropriate. Item number 1, discussion and possible action regarding the Yuma County Foothills Community Park. 2A, authorize staff to submit an application to the Arizona Parks and Trails Land and Conservation Grant Opportunity due September 30, 2025 for Phase 2. B, authorize the matching fund from the general fund reserves, and C, authorize the county administrator to, or their designee to sign all documents necessary for the grant application.
Come on. No, I'm just kidding.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Diana Veloz, Community Planning Administrative Director. Today I'm here, just a quick background on this. On April of 2021, the board authorized staff to move forward with an application for the Yuma County Foothills Community Park. We were able to apply for the Arizona State Parks and Trails Land and Water Conservation Grant. And that turned into an actual award that you all authorized and approved in November of 2021. So the first large park was born in the Foothills area. And it was something that the public had requested for many years, right? So I just wanted to highlight really quick that phase 1 was completed in June 30th of 2025. We put some ramadas in, a walking path, playground, benches, and we were lucky enough to also get a grant to apply for the restroom area. That was really something that the residents out there needed. And I just want to quickly acknowledge and thank the board for their persistence and their support throughout the years to make this actually happen. This project wouldn't have happened without your guidance to move forward, you know.
How much is the matching fund? I wasn't listening that good. How much is the matching fund?
Wait, she's gonna show it up.
Haven't got there yet.
Oh.
I just wanted to give the quick background. So today we're proposing phase 2. So phase 2 is the next phase of the park out there, and phase 2 is a little bit more than $1.4 million. So that would require a 50% match from the board, which comes out to $742,168. That's where we're at right now. We worked with engineering to get a preliminary budget in place for that. So that's what the board would have to match.
What do you expect us to get at? Is it budgeted?
So
they're gonna apply.
They're gonna apply.
Yeah,
And if they get it, we need to come up with 740.
yeah, so the grant is due.
September
The
30th.
grant is due on September 30th. And we're expecting us to be notified, I think, next year, probably is the soonest, early next year. And then we would start construction probably in late 2026 on this park,
So
if we
the
were
idea
awarded.
is first to find out if we qualify, and second, we'll figure out where the money comes from. That it?
Yes, sir.
Through the budgetary session.
Right, in the next fiscal year, the 26-27 budget will take most of the expense.
So this is some of the scope of work that we have for phase 2. So it's going to build on whatever phase 1, what's out there in phase 1 right now. So we're extending the 10-foot walking path. We're extending the green space that's out there. We're putting a dog park in with related amenities to that dog park. Exercise equipment along the walkway. We're continuing with the landscaping, trees and shrubs. It's a lot of what the community has specifically actually asked for. And that's where we're.
Tables, benches, grills, trash cans. Wow.
Yes.
No garden?
No. That's the only thing missing, I think. No, we knew that it was going to be invested heavy. We went to the foothills and put a park together. And in the way that people expect parks to be nowadays, it's really well developed. And we didn't develop it completely the first time. We just opened it. So this is just like matching. And hopefully we won't have another $1.5 million to invest on it, unless somebody comes up and says that we didn't do this inclusive ones.
Which we are taking care of that.
We're taking care of
Yes.
that during this process.
Yes, we are addressing that.
Having said that, I would then make a motion that we go ahead and approve you submitting the application for the.
I'll second.
Can we do them all together or one at a time? A, B,
A
and
and
C?
B is C.
One,
Well,
okay.
I think
You
that-
you did say
yeah.
A, yeah, the first one. Okay, there's a motion and a second to, there's a motion and a second to authorize the staff to submit an application to the Arizona Parks and Trails. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Derek gets to make a
There,
motion for
well,
his.
it gets me
Huh?
to the point that I say, how the hell do we, if we don't know if we're gonna get it, we authorize the match from general fund reserves? That reserve is only $500,000, if I remember correctly. This is $740,000. I don't understand why we're having to set aside the matching funds if we don't know if we're gonna get it. That's why I asked, where's the money coming from? So if we don't have to set up the matching fund,
No, but it's, B is matching funds from the general fund reserve.
that's what I'm saying. General fund reserves won't be enough to cover that.
Yes, it will.
Talking in general.
The general fund.
General fund.
The general,
Reserve. General
There's
fund.
plenty
general
of
fund.
general
Yeah.
funds.
General fund,
not the board fund.
Not the board fund, the general fund.
So when we make an application, we have to commit the funds. Is that what you're telling me? That we have to commit the funds?
Ahead of
and
time.
then-
Yes.
Even if we don't have them in the budget right now, we will have them in the budget if we get the funds.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
And we do have it.
And we do have a general fund reserve, that's high.
Because we're so conservative.
Because we're so conservative, we sort of carve them.
We will have to split that, but that's going to be available to us.
Okay, all right.
okay. Is there a motion
I
for?
can authorize the county administrator to
for B?
sign.
Let Darren make the motion.
I'll make a
Darren
motion that we approve the matching funds from the general fund reserves.
There's
I'll second that.
There's a motion and a second to authorize the matching fund for from the general fund reserves. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion for item C?
I'll make a motion that we approve or authorize the county administrator or his designee to sign all documents necessary for the grant application.
I'll second that motion.
There's a motion and a second to authorize item C as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank
I just
you.
want to make a quick comment. The park out there has made a huge difference in the community out there. I hear nothing but compliments about the park and the things that have happened since it's gone in. The Gold Star Memorial that was placed out there, and then the kind of the additions of the flags that we added to complement that. And I know several civic groups have bought benches to put out there, and they want to do more. So, you know, it's a focal point for the foothills, and it's just a good place for everybody to come together during the winter months. The Ramadas are packed. I mean, it's kind of a fight. Everybody's wanting to get there early to be able to utilize them and utilize the green space that's out there. So thank you, all of y'all, for supporting this. I know it was a tough one at the beginning, but it's really been a great addition, I think, to the county, not just out there, but it's the fact that we're established, the Parks Department, and are maintaining like the Gadsden Park and Optimus Park and Mesa del Sol and the other places.
That was a good take back, because I was gonna say that the city of Yuma, I'm sure, is not the happiest camper. They want that area annexed, but the more we provide them amenities like that, the less likely it is for those people to actually think of the city of Yuma as the only option they have for those services. So,
Yep.
I think it's good.
All right. Moving on to item number 2, discussion and possible action regarding the 2026 board meeting schedule. That's right.
Good morning, Chairman Purchase, members of the board. Desiree Gunderman, clerk of the board. Today I'm presenting the 2026 draft board meeting calendar for your consideration. For scheduling purposes and in response to a suggestion to look at the budget sessions, moving those earlier to provide additional time for changes. So regular board meeting sessions are typically scheduled for the first and third Monday of each month, but have previously been changed in the month of June to the fourth Monday to accommodate the public hearing publication requirements, which is about 3 weeks in between the board's review of the tentative budget and then the adoption of the final budget. So after discussing this with the Office of Management and Budget and reviewing the timeline, we have two options for you that present the least amount of disruption without adding extra meetings back to back. And so the first option would be, as you see in the calendar here in June, is there are 5 Mondays in the month of June. So we would opt to keep the schedule as it has been and move that second meeting to the 22nd, to the 4th Monday in June, which is when the budget would be adopted on that 22nd of June, which still provides time for updates and the submission for OMB. And then the other option would be to keep our meetings on the 1st and 3rd Monday of June. So we would keep, it would be the 1st and the 15th. But the tentative budget would be presented on May 18th, which would be earlier than the 1st. But this would only provide 6 working days for OMB to make any adjustments that are presented during the budget session.
May I ask a question before you go on? Are those the only options you're looking at? I mean, in terms of June and May. But I'm interested in July. You have a 4th of July that happens on a Saturday. It's either the 3rd, it's a holiday, or the 6th will be a holiday. How would you, when is the holiday celebrated here? If the 4th of July falls on a weekend?
Friday, July 3rd.
So the 3rd here would be highlighted as a holiday.
But it's, well, the 4th, yeah, we should
But it
probably
would be
highlight the 3rd.
So the Friday, so the Friday is really off the chart, right? It's not usable. It's not, it's a holiday, it should be a holiday, right? Then the 6th will be normally the day we have the meeting, and then we move the one on the 20th to the 22nd to give it enough time for it to.
But remember, we're talking about approving the budget. We would normally do it if we don't see any, if we don't want any changes, we do it in the tentative budget as it 22nd or the 15th.
The second option, the tentative budget, would be presented on the 18th.
But the regular way we do it.
It would be presented on the 1st.
On the 1st, and then we do the.
To present the final budget.
The final budget.
Which then is moved to the 22nd.
I think it's fine. I like it. I just wanted to, I wonder where the 4th of July.
No, the 4th of July doesn't matter.
It falls on a Saturday.
No, but I mean, this is for the tentative budget, for the budget.
In what context?
My concern is when you have a holiday, it doesn't count as a working day. So if you are going to have a final, you have to count the days. You know, you have to count the days without the 3rd. That's what I thought. So I wanted to make sure that there was enough time between the tentative budget approval and the general budget approval, and that it had enough days between them, because you have to have so many working days so people can look at it. I thought it was working days. And so because I didn't see you locate the 3rd as a holiday, you have 4th. The 4th of July is on a Saturday, which is good. But you still have to either set aside the 3rd or the 6th for people to take it as a holiday.
Well,
We always do ours ahead of time.
Yeah, our hope with either of the proposed schedule would be to adopt that final budget by June, no later than June 22nd.
The agenda.
And there wouldn't be a.
And so the 4th doesn't even come into account, doesn't even come into play.
Right, touch it.
Although, Mr. Chairman, and sorry to hijack your presentation, I think it is worthwhile to potentially have that discussion because separate from the budget, that July 4th weekend, I know, Chairman, you had expressed interest in the past of potentially moving the date close to the 4th of July to accommodate board and employee travel and whatever. So seeing that you got a holiday weekend, the holiday being observed on Friday, July 3rd, the board is only required by statute to have one meeting a month. You could potentially cancel that first meeting, or you could just reschedule it to maybe Wednesday the 8th as is custom.
Yeah,
Let's move it to the 8th.
let's move it to the 8th so people can get back.
That weekend's kind of busy.
Okay, yeah.
Well, instead of the 6th, it will be the 8th.
But the
wouldn't matter.
budget, tentative budget approval and all of that.
I can be out of
I
town.
think it should just stay the way we've got it. It's been working just fine. And it gives the budget group some time to get any changes or modifications done.
Well, yeah, it'll be 3 weeks, yeah, and we'll adopt it, the 22nd.
22nd of June.
Yeah.
I agree. That's the way it should stay.
Well, which works best for Tony? I mean, they're the ones that are gonna be
Tony, I
jumping.
looked at him
care.
and he
No,
said, he's
I don't
shaking
know.
his
I'll
head
be on
on the
vacation
22nd, huh? Okay, thank you.
The one,
So the only thing we were talking about whether we had it the 3rd or the 6th. And if you had needed to have a meeting on the 6th, which is a Monday, or move it to a Wednesday. Every time there's a holiday that falls on a Monday, we move it to a Wednesday, giving plenty of time for people to get back. That's the only thing I was talking about, because the other, it's been decided that by the 22nd of June, we'll have the final budget. So we still have time to tinker with it in July if there's something wrong. When, it's up to something else. I was just talking about whether we needed to have the 6th or the meeting on July the 6th or the 8th. The other one, I think, is a NACO thing, because I think it's pink, NACO. That's when NACO has their.
that's in July, that's the next fiscal year.
I know, this is what
That doesn't impact us at
it
all.
doesn't matter, whether we have the 6th or the 8th. I'd rather like the 8th, personally.
Okay, for that meeting in July.
The meeting in July.
Chairman Supervisor Reyes.
Make a
So we will keep this schedule, we'll keep June 1st tentative budget, June 22nd, but we will move the July, that first meeting to July 8th.
That's what I like.
I make a motion, we do that.
Second that motion quickly.
I don't like it. I'm just kidding.
We don't care.
There's a motion and a second to keep or to move July's first meeting to the 8th. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. Thank you, Desiree. Great, great. Moving on to planning and zoning agenda. Full legal descriptions of property sites for the rezoning cases are available for public review at the Yuma County Board of Supervisors office. Regular public hearing items, staff will make a full presentation on each of the following items, followed by a separate discussion, public hearing, and action by the Board of Supervisors. Item number 1, minor amendment case number 2506. Javier Barraza.
Chairman and members of the board, Javier Barraza, Senior Planner, presenting minor amendment case number 25-06. This is an amendment to the 2030 Comprehensive Plan to keep US Highway 95 as a visual corridor in its original extent, east of Avenue 3E to the northern boundary of Yuma County, or designate US Highway 95 as a visual corridor from the intersection of US Highway 95 and County 3rd Street to the north boundary of Yuma County. This is, would you like me to do the entire presentation and read, or just go briefly?
Just brief, yeah.
Okay. Chronology visual corridors were originally established with the adoption of the 2010 Comprehensive Plan in 2001, then adopted in 2020, and then the 2030. And at the time of, there was a notice, a discrepancy from the original one. Highway 95 depicted on that map was not there no more, but it was listed as a visual corridor, and staff start an amendment to bring it back in its original extent. Then we went through several iterations, and the idea got changed to include the entire Highway 95 as a visual corridor. Then the idea went back, it got through a minor amendment 2406, and it was denied and sent back to rethink and came back several times. The last one is on July 22nd, on June 24, 2025, a request to initiate a minor amendment was presented to the Planning Commission, and that meeting, the Planning Commission recommended to initiate a minor amendment and recommended to designate US Highway 95 as a visual corridor from the intersection of US Highway 95 and County 3rd Street. That was the preferred visual corridor presented by the board, so we transmitted that to the board. Yes, Mr. Chairman. Supervisor Reyes.
What happens with the boards that are already there when the initial, if we change that? I mean, because we can go back and have it as it was initially designed, and that would be the end of that controversy.
That is correct.
The controversy that I see now is that if it wasn't a visual corridor and they already have signs up there, what do we do with them now?
Those are non-conforming signs on the original.
What does that mean?
That they're allowed to be there, and those could be replaced as being non-conforming. Any deviation from the non-conforming use, they probably will need, they can bring it to the same stage that they are right now. But if they want to increase height or size, that will need something else, maybe a variant.
So zoning, non-conforming zoning to me means you're doing something in an area that you shouldn't, and you should remove it. That's the way that I look at it. In a non-conforming, you can leave it as it is, but you can't make any changes that deviate from what the original intent of using that property was.
In a way, kind of correct. It's a non-conforming use is either if it was established before the adoption of the zoning ordinance, or a rezoning and a use was already there, kind of.
Grandfathering.
Yeah.
The grandfathering.
That's correct, Mr. Chairman.
So what do we have now?
Now what we have here is two options: either maintain Highway 95 as an original extent as a visual corridor as adopted back with the 2010 comprehensive plan, or select option number 2, which is from Highway 95 and County 3rd North Street to the north. Now we have stakeholders. Some want to have it the original, and others want option number 2. So they will allow them to have off-site signs like billboards.
That's not going to happen in my district. So what do we go to what the original intent was? Most of that is in your area.
No. Like I said, Mike, I want to keep the visual corridor County 3rd North. Keeps it out of YPG, keeps it out of the COFAs. People enjoy that drive, and I just don't want to add anything up in there as far as with the military too. I don't want to cause any problems with them. South of County 3rd, I've heard people for or against it. About the main concern I have is if we start putting signs in around farm fields, you get the birds that like to roost in the signs, and then you worry about contamination. If there's a buffer, between the sign and the farm field, would be nice, but.
So you're saying, let's keep everything north of 23rd?
Everything north of County 3rd will be maintained as a visual corridor.
And then anything south, that will be then what? Because if we allow that to become a regular corridor, which allows signs, they can make them bigger, they can put them anywhere there. I would say that we restrict that to the fact that whatever's there is non-conforming. It can remain, but it can't be made any bigger or any lit at night, which is what I'm concerned with, lighting. Because those signs, when they lit up at night, they really become.
Well, and then they still fall under the dark sky, too. Once you start getting out near Fortuna, I think Fortuna North is
Dark
part
sky.
of this dark sky zone, so you can't have it lit up there with the bright neon signs. I don't know what you can do as far as lighting.
So what about in south? What the Planning and Zoning Commission recommend? That we keep it the way it was before?
The Planning and Zoning Commission is recommending, let me just go back to the recommendation. This is what the Planning and Zoning Commission recommends: approval of minor amendment case number 25-06 to designate US Highway 95 as a visual corridor from the intersection of US Highway 95 and County 3rd Street to the northern boundaries of Yuma County. Staff concurs with the commission's recommendation. However, it also recommends to keep US Highway 95 as a visual corridor in its original extent if the
What was
north,
its original extent?
from Avenue 3E to the east and north county boundaries. That was the original extent.
But it seems to me like you're concurring with the commission recommendations, but you're recommending that we keep US 95.
So that option is there just to have either or today.
I like the or.
Yes.
I
Yes, Mr.
gotta
Chairman.
see the map. May I see
Okay.
the map? I'm looking at it, but I can't.
This is, right now, it's number one, to the lower left, you will see where the original corridor starts. And it goes east and then north to the north. And then number two, way up there on the right, is where the new visual corridor is approved by the board, will start and then going north to the county boundaries on the north. This is the original extent. This is just a draft map showing if approved as the original, this will be the map. This is if option number two from County 3rd Street and the intersection with Highway 95 to the north, this will be, if approved, this will be the map. And this is just an example of the 2010 adopted in 2001. So as you can see in kind of purple, yellow color, that was the original extent. And this is what it was adopted in 2020. So Highway 95 is shown, but it's not listed as in the symbology, in the legend, as a visual corridor, but it was listed on the actual section.
Got it.
To the recommendation.
So right now, there's no billboards allowed.
Okay, anything 500 feet on each side of Highway 95 doesn't allow off-site signs, billboards, new ones, and no industrial uses.
I'd like to keep it though.
It doesn't allow, it doesn't allow.
Doesn't allow.
Okay.
However, we have a mechanism in the zoning ordinance called variance, so you can deviate from the requirements that need to be approved by the board of supervisors. So I leave that there.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to recommend to keep the US 95.
We have to have a public.
Which is
Which is
what it is
right now.
No billboards allowed and.
Unless you get a.
Every,
Unless you get a.
they need to comply with section 621.00. Other than that, there's other, screening, buffering required for new development. But the most restrictive product could be the no off-site signs and no new industrial uses.
So that's my motion.
Okay, but you're gonna have to wait till.
No, but I just want to put the motion in the street.
All right, any other questions for staff?
We gotta have a public hearing, I know.
No? Thank you, Javier. I'll go ahead and open up the public hearing. And I do have two speaker forms for that, for this item. Randy Wright.
And remember, you quit what you're winning if this is what you want.
I'm hoping to answer some questions here. So Brandy Wright, Del Odor Advertising. Yes, there seems to be a lot of confusion what goes on between non-conforming billboards and conforming. So along Highway 95, we do have quite a few billboards there. Now, it is extremely difficult for us to put in new construction along Highway 95 for many reasons. We have to have a ground lease with the landowner, right? So we can't just decide, hey, we're putting a billboard here. We also have to comply with county ordinances. Now, we can't put a billboard in ag, okay? So that should eliminate that. 2, we have to comply with, or 3, we have to comply with ADOT. There's a lot of variances for us to put in new construction billboard. So what you see along Highway 95 now is pretty much what you're going to see for years to come. It's very rare that a new opportunity for outdoor advertising comes along where we can put a new billboard in. Sorry, my voice is like super crappy, but it's rare. So you talk about the pigeons. Well, if a landowner has an issue with the billboard that's on his property, he comes to us. We take care of that, right? We have pest control, all kinds of sorts of things, but that's between the billboard company and the landowner. So if he has an issue or they have an issue, we take care of that. Now, if it stays to its original extent now, and all my boards become non-conforming, that starts eliminating billboards for us. That starts eliminating billboards for billboard companies, right? We can't move it. We can't modernize it. We can't change it. If half the billboard falls, I got to take it out because it'll cost me more than 50% to restore it to its original extent than just to remove it. So all those boards along at 95 start just depleting. There's nothing we can do about that if we keep things the way they are now. So moving it out to County 3rd and North, Highway 95 and County and North, doesn't mean that we're going to be coming in and putting a bunch of new billboards in. It just allows us to maintain what we have, honestly. And I have a good example. Steve Haxton's place on Fortuna and Highway 95. They were extending that intersection. I had to move my billboard back 15 feet. If we keep things the way that is now, I would have had to remove that billboard. That's a $100,000 asset out of our company. And that's what will start happening if we keep it that way. It's one stretch of highway, and there's not that much there.
So in order to preserve the integrity of your current business model, Brandy, what exactly do you want to see?
I wanted to see where, so we protect YPG and further, but I want it from County 3rd Street north towards YPG.
And that just gives you the ability to maintain what you got.
Basically, yeah. I mean, Lamar and I would have been putting in billboards all year long if we could. There are so many stipulations, it does not allow us to do so.
Too many restrictions.
Yeah, yeah.
Javier, how do we make that happen?
That the ones that are there can stay, but any of the others
I
can
just
be
want-
maintained,
I
but
just want
any of the
Javier to
others are
Explain that
allowed.
to all of us one more time.
How many boards are there between County 3rd and the northern boundary?
Not many.
I don't know, I counted 16, is that kind of reasonable or not?
Not a,
From Alto Avenue 3, yeah.
Yeah, 3, but he's saying County 3rd.
From County 3rd north, I don't think there's
I don't think there's
any
no signs.
up that way.
Maybe on-site signs, but
Well, Darren, this barely clips my area, but then goes in primary to yours, but I don't want to injure a business.
I don't either. I mean,
Give
if
them the
we were,
ability to
but like I
maintain.
said, definitely County 3rd north is scenic.
It
Yeah.
is.
as far as non-conforming uses, as I mentioned before, you can reestablish that. Apply for permits to bring it back, maintenance and all of that. Now, changing the scope of that, let's say increase height or area.
It just seems we don't have a clean way. That's why I wanted you to come up again and tell us exactly how to do that while maintaining a balance and the preservation of something that's currently, and Maggie's getting anxious in the back.
Better be careful.
Maggie?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Sorry, Javier.
Yeah, Maggie Castro, Director. So as far as the signs that are there prior to the regulations taking effect, those are, like Javier said, they are non-conforming. They can stay as they are.
But if it blows down,
Okay, they can stay as they are. If any changes are made, as long as they don't exceed 100% of the area that's there, they can rebuild what's there. Anything bigger than
without what? Within what provision?
by right.
Okay.
No, non-conforming, that may be.
There seems to be a disagreement because she said 50%, but you just said 100. So we can have clarification on that?
I believe that that may be a state regulation or a dot regulation for non-conforming uses. The zoning ordinance does allow expansion up to 100% of the original area. Anything higher than 100% would require compliance with zoning or obtaining a variance from the Board of Adjustment.
Randy?
So we still have county, we still have state, we still have landowners, right? So it's still meeting all three of those. They may be 50, ADOT may be 100, guess what? We're still not able to do so because we don't comply with all three. Again, the restrictions are high for outdoor advertising.
That's why I wanted everybody to come back up again, because nothing was making sense.
Yeah, and no matter what we do, if we leave it at, where you can come back in and rebuild what you've lost or whatever, you still have that state requirement, which there's nothing we can do about it.
Correct. Correct.
This isn't an easy fix with what's been proposed, Javier. This seems that it would be damaging to a business if we adopted anything here today.
But
Maggie?
I don't think there was a fix. I mean, it was a decision to protect the views.
But there is no abuse. They're not planning on putting any more up. They've got 16 to maintain.
But that's it. This new suggestion doesn't allow putting new ones in. It doesn't matter. What it does is it makes it more difficult to change what you got, because you have to meet all these regulations. But the fact is,
but it's slightly prejudiced towards what's existing with the inability to go back and.
But you're still unable to do it right now.
There's got to be some way we can.
I don't feel comfortable moving on something when there's not really a resolution here.
Well, I think it would be up to I mean, we can't control the state.
No.
So that is, no matter what we do, the state will still have their requirements, and if we can say, well, do the 100%, but if the state says nope, they can't.
But if you guys were to adopt from County 3rd Street North, that leaves our billboards conforming on Highway 95. So that would solve my issue right now, is if I had to move the billboard back 15 feet like I did at Steve Haxton's place, I'd be allowed to do so. It leaves Highway 95 conforming, which is what we want. What we want you guys to do is, or ask, is to adopt from County 3rd Street. What we're trying to do is prevent any new going out towards YPG.
So you
and
keep,
that protects YPG and whole and the visual corridor.
Will that, Maggie, would that take care of that?
Mr. Chairman, that is what the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended.
Yeah.
The Planning Commission recommended designating Highway 95 from County 3rd Street to the north boundary as a visual corridor. Staff is recommending that we go back to the original intent of the visual corridor, which was from Avenue 3E to the north boundary of Yuma County. The board can take either one of those options.
Differences from 3rd or in 3E.
It's from 3E to County 3rd.
Okay.
Yeah, we're only talking about that straight piece up, going out towards AWC. And then that right where the curve is. County 3rd
Yeah, right there,
is right at the
Blaisdell.
curve.
So let me ask you a quick, on what do you call it? On the property, owner's property, they gotta have permission or lease from the property owner to set up a sign, huh?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, that's between the property owner and the sign company.
And the sign company. Now, on the right of way, are they allowed, is there any signs? Nope, no, nothing can go there.
Mr. Chairman, they have to comply with the zoning ordinance. We don't regulate uses within the right-of-way. There are setback requirements depending on the zoning district and the type of sign.
So that's where it gets tricky.
Yeah.
And
I was gonna say, can we?
I'm from South County, so the North County
That's
is
where it
protected from
gets,
South County.
because if they're allowed, then
They're allowed.
they're allowed. That's,
You can-
you can't, yeah, I mean, that to
You know,
me,
what
it's
you're
just,
asking for us is to leave the
The
state
gap
to
here.
determine.
Either you adopt
Yeah.
the visual corridor from 3E to the north boundary of Yuma County, or you adopt the visual corridor from County 3rd Street to the north boundary of Yuma County. If you do that, this area now, from 3E to County 3rd, will be able to have billboards.
That's what I'm saying. I have a problem with that. That's more in South County than anything else. But to me, it's on the edge anyway.
But they're really, can they add more without the property owner's approval?
And
I
the
mean,
state.
Yes.
that gives the property owner the option if they want to lease out the space or
And
whatever.
the state, Tony, you still have those
Property,
two.
state, and county. Like I said, if I was able to put up 10 billboards today, it would have been done already. It's so difficult. I put up a new billboard in the county city probably once every 3 to 5 years.
Mr. Chair, may I make a comment?
yes, go ahead.
Maggie, can you tell me from 3E to 3rd, most of that is
Are you talking about county?
privately owned land or state trust land, correct?
Mr. Chair, from Avenue 3E to County 3rd Street, majority of it is privately owned land in agriculture, except for maybe this area here.
Now, I have
You
a
get it from
question.
Blaisdell.
Is 3rd Street where Dome Valley starts?
Yep.
That's a Dome Valley
That's
Road?
Stone Valley Road there.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, in addition to
And it doesn't
whether
fit the
billboard
South County.
signs are allowed or not, there are spacing requirements
I don't
that
see
will be
I don't see
required to be met. They can't be any closer than a certain distance to each other,
Here's
so
this would be,
there are county
from here north
regs
would
that
be a
have to be
visual
met,
corridor
even if
No signs.
billboard signs are allowed
from County
within
3rd.
the corridor, or
What it
within
does
and
is
the
it
gap
takes it up
area
from
between
3E to
3E
County
and
County
County 3rd.
So Brandy, have you had to replace a sign in the
This
county
is
with state
industrial
approval
mainly.
recently?
No.
Okay.
Here.
There, was any thought given to, from Fortuna to, from 3E to Fortuna being the allowed as, for signage?
Well,
Right there where that.
It is allowed with permission from state.
The
The problem
Landowners
you're gonna
and-
kind of run into is if you don't go out to County 3rd, you've got a lot of industrial
Yeah,
in
you
that
do.
area between Fortuna and County 3rd.
Yeah.
That's gonna, there's more development coming for industrial, heavy industrial.
In that
which is
area.
zoned for in that area. And they
Okay,
wouldn't be able to have signage and stuff if we put them.
thank you.
So the
Okay.
county 3
Okay.
is what you're asking for, as written.
Correct.
Okay,
Where the planning and zoning approved,
correct,
with 9-0.
correct. Perfect. Can we go back to that amendment, Javier, or Maggie, whomever?
Item number 2. Oh, let me see that opposition. The one before that, the one they had you had before that. One neutral, 2 in support, 1 in support, 1 in opposition.
Carrie, do you want to speak?
Mr. Chairman,
I got a speakerphone
there
here.
were two
Not done.
emails, I believe, that were received that pertain to this item.
Uh-huh, they were read
Yes,
during
they
the
were
call,
read them
yeah.
into the record.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So any more questions for Brandy?
Nope. Maybe after, but.
I also have another speakerphone for Gary Meister.
Gary Meister.
Gary Meister.
Chairman Porteous, members of the board, thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today. I'm Kerry Meister. I'm the Conservation Chair for the Yuma Audubon Society. And in summary, I hope you will vote for the original, what was in the plan from Avenue 3E to the northern boundary of Yuma County. this has been there since 2010. And there were never ever any problems brought up that I'm aware of until now, when because of a technical error in that the legend did not correspond to the lines on the map, this whole thing has been opened up and now has become a backdoor way to try to get more billboards along US 95 from Avenue 3E. The representative of the billboard industry says that it's hard to put up billboards in this area. If everything is so hard, what are they afraid of if it becomes a visual corridor? As I said, this resulted from confusion. Now, my understanding is that the board very strongly support keeping farmland, and has been pointed out there are difficulties for farmers when there are billboards, such as in plowing and other work in the fields, and also for crop dusters. And do you really want to have industrial uses in what's now a farming area where there can be conflicts with pollution from the industries to the farm fields? Yuma has done much, the Yuma farm industry has done much to ensure that the public knows that the food that they get is not polluted. And this would not be a good thing if industries were to be able to locate in this area. This is Yuma's front door for winter visitors. And as I've said before, the green of the fields against the mountains is a beautiful sight. One time I was having a disagreement with my boss, and I couldn't sleep for 3 nights. And my wife suggested, why don't we take a drive? And we took a drive along 95. That view helped me not only calm myself, but also gave me the courage to tell my boss, I can't do this. So you can see that there are many non-monetary values of having this view kept as it is. I'm sure I'm not the only person. Billboards are a distraction to driving. We have enough distractions already. We're not supposed to take out our phones and look at them while we're driving. Well, what's the difference looking at a billboard, especially one that's all lit up so you can see it at night, and it has like 3 or 4 different ads, and you're reading one, and then all of a sudden it goes on to the next. They're a distraction to driving, and we don't need that. So don't make US 95 like I-8 through California and Yuma. If it's so hard to put up billboards, how come we have so many along I-8? I realize part of it's California, but also through Yuma. So I hope you will support the original plan intention. There are only 7 existing billboards that I counted in this area, and apparently, although non-conforming, they're to be allowed to stay. If there's still a problem, maybe you could grandfather them in, but we don't need more billboards in this area. So, and also the mention was made of how the billboards attract birds. And, you know, if they're pigeons, that's one thing. But if they're native species are not pests. They're in conflict with farming activities, but native species are also protected, especially migratory birds, by international treaty. So it's not just a matter of you go out and kill the birds or make them go somewhere else. You have to treat them differently if they're native species protected by treaty. In summary, I beg you, implore you, encourage you to support what was in the original plan. It's been there since 2010. I don't see why we need to change it now. And I thank you for the opportunity to address you today.
Any questions for Karen? Corey? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing and bring it back to the board.
I had a motion before. You just need to amend it a little bit so maybe you get a second on it.
Can we go back to the recommendation from the Planning and Zoning Board, Tony?
Oh, well, I mean, that changes the intent, the original intent, which was from
County third.
County third. I'd like it to be from county third to the northern boundary of the county. That would be my motion. I know it's going to affect the way that you put in new billboards, but I don't think it affects it that much. And if it does, then I don't want to infringe on what business does, but the business of billboards is a public business. It's a business that you can see. It's a business that can impact your livelihood. So to me, if we did it in 2010, I don't think anything has changed. I don't see why there's so much resistance to it.
So you're saying from Avenue 3?
From Avenue 3 to the northern boundary.
Oh,
As a
County
visual-
3rd, not Avenue 3.
Not Avenue 3.
Is a
Avenue
visual
3, no.
corridor.
No, wait a minute. What was in there? It's
You want the
3.
recommendation?
I want
from
the old recommendation.
Mr. Chairman, the original extent of the visual corridor was from Avenue 3E to the northern boundary of Yuma
They
County.
can't do, then they can't fix their stuff. It's gotta be from the County 3.
Well, it's the way it's been for 15 years. I don't understand. It was a technical mistake. I mean, that's the way it should be.
Actually, the original extent, as originally adopted in 2001, it's not 2010, it was the 2010 comprehensive plan that was adopted in 2001. So the original extent adopted with the 2001, in 2001,
It's his
was
area.
from Avenue 3E to the northern boundary.
It's his area, let him do it.
It's not. 3 is actually my district. And my concern has always been South County, and I can see next to County 35 in South County how you see a lot of those signs, billboards. They happen to be, they're not even covered by this.
Correct. The South County is not covered by the visual corridor. The visual corridor, no.
No.
3E, Avenue 3E is
To the
North.
north.
Just below, on 16th Street, down below, down the street from the mall.
Si no, van a poner más signs para acá.
Well, let me not get confused about this. 3E, it was used to be the boundaries, 3E.
Avenue
The new
3E.
boundary is County 3.
No, yeah,
Correct.
County
That is
3.
what the planning commission.
Okay,
But you're
Tony.
leaving all that area out.
yes, from,
3E to County third.
All the agricultural land.
mhm.
That's in your district, so.
Yeah. But it also, it's up to the landowners whether or not they want to allow them.
That's right.
there.
And the state.
And the state. But there's got to be a mechanism where we can allow them to come in and fix their signs and put them back to normal.
Well, perhaps that's something that we can address in our October meeting with the county, with the state counties.
Mr. Chairman, there is already a mechanism to be able to fix non-conforming signs.
Thank you.
Up to 50%, right? County says 100, state says
To
50.
100%.
Up to 100%.
For the
In-
state?
In Yuma County.
Okay.
I know the county zoning ordinance would allow non-conforming use to expand up to 100% of the original area.
Perhaps we can just investigate that and ask them
And
to
the state's
conform
not
to what
doing that.
we allow in the county instead of overriding it with their 50%, if that is the case.
Mhm.
Darren?
So, okay. Make a motion that we approve the visual corridor being from County Third north to the northern boundary. And then,
You want to see the addenda, I mean,
That's what the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended.
can you put that back up, Maggie?
You go back to that.
Just to Yuba County boundary of North.
There you go, Darren.
They approve a minor amendment, which is the case 2506, to designate US Highway 95 as a bishop corridor from the intersection of US Highway 95 and
Just
County
prove
3
the number.
to the northern boundary of Yuba County. That was their.
Making me laugh.
One on the bottom says, the staff concurs with the commission's recommendation. However, it recommends to keep US 95 as a very insufficient extent, which was all the way to 3E, correct?
From 3E to the northern boundary.
Okay, so how do I need to propose it
Just
where?
eliminate the second paragraph.
Mr. Chairman, if the intent is to adopt the planning commission's recommendation,
So what?
that's all you simply need to say. Motion
That's
to
all you
adopt the
need to
planning
say?
commission's recommendation.
This minor amendment, case number 25.
I recommend we adopt the planning zoning recommendation.
Without staff's recommendations, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I'll second that. Thank you, Javier, for that little cheerleading.
Figure this thing out.
As little as possible.
Okay. There's a motion and a second to adopt minor amendment case number 2506, which is without staff recommendation. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
One nay?
One nay.
Motion carries.
Congratulations, Javier.
Thank you very much.
Clear as mud.
It's been a long,
Item number
long
2,
2 years.
rezoning case
Is
number
that 2 years?
15-15.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. One more time, Javier Barraza, senior planner, presenting rezoning case number 25-15, a request to rezone a parcel 40,260 square feet in size from manufactured home subdivision, 20,000 square feet minimum, to manufactured home subdivision, 10,000 square feet minimum, located in Northwest Yuma County planning area at 2108 West 26th Street, Yuma, Arizona. The intent is to rezone in order to split the property into 4 MHS-10 lots compliant. This is the zoning and vicinity map showing the subject parcel, crosshatch at the center of the map. We have zonings, residential zonings on the north, east, and south. Improved with, some of them are vacant, others are improved with residences. And on to the west, we have City of Yuma. This is an aerial view showing the subject parcel, outlined in blue. This is the site plan provided by the applicant. This is how the property plans to be split into 4 parcels. They're providing an access easement on the south with a hammerhead at the end. We received comments from City of San Luis, MCAS, 1 email in opposition. The Planning Commission recommends approval of rezoning case number 25-15, subject to performance condition and schedule for development listed on this slide.
Mr. Chairman, Javier, the opposition was based on what?
Mr. Chairman, I don't have that.
Okay. Nothing that rises to.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is here because of that written opposition, yeah.
But nothing.
Nothing.
Okay.
That person is here and wanna extend, I don't know.
Okay. Any questions? Oh,
Thank you, Javier.
any questions, any other questions for Javier? Thank you, Javier. Go ahead and open the public hearing. Anybody here for that item from the public? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, bring it back to the board.
B&A was here. Do you want to say anything, B&A? Nothing?
He's ahead already, so he might not.
I'll make a motion that we approve rezoning case number 25-15. Whose area is that in?
There's a motion and a second to approve rezoning case number 25-15. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3, discussion concerning a possible text amendment to the Yuma County zoning ordinance to consider changes to section 1106.01, cargo containers.
I love cargo containers.
Chairman Javier Barraza, senior planner, presenting this discussion item. The intent of this is to amend section 1106.01 to possibly allow cargo containers as accessory uses in residential zoning district that allow parcels of less than 2 acres in size without the approval of a special use permit, allow more than 1 cargo container in residential zoning districts that allow parcels of 2 acres or greater in size, allow cargo containers to be stacked, and allow cargo containers for human occupancy. And this is the chronology. And this is the proposed changes are shown below. The text that is strike-through format is intended to be deleted, and text in bold font is proposed new text to be added. You'd like me to read? I have a cleaner version of these. Pretty much the recommendation from the Planning Commission is here. Instead of allowing cargo containers by number, it's now going to be like cargo containers by area.
Square footage?
Square footage. So you can have small ones, 7.
Most or smallest is 160, biggest is 320, right?
Right. And if they're custom made to fit, properties, yeah, they also will allow it towards the count of area allowed.
Does it take, Javier, have you guys had a discussion regarding the cargo container homes, et cetera?
Yes, in that particular case, will be allowed for human occupancy. But in that respect, they will need to comply with IBC and IRC.
Okay.
They will need to get all proper calculations, engineering to allow, to be occupied.
Perfect.
This has been discussed thoroughly several times, and this is the last iteration.
How many years, Javier?
Let me go back. I was.
You were 6?
A little bit.
Let me see.
Tony was here. Oh, wow. Tony started this?
I don't know if I exaggerate by saying 2 years?
A year and a half.
Year and a half.
Okay.
Yes. So here we are. This is the cleaner version of it. Staff recommends, if no changes are suggested by the board, staff recommends forwarding this item to the Planning Commission to initiate a text amendment to Section 1106.01 of the Yuma County zoning ordinance as presented.
Mr. Chairman?
Sorry about that, Harry. Go ahead.
And looking at it, they've got to be
Oh, I
painted.
thought you
and-
asked the question. I don't have any, I just, setbacks and all that will still be followed.
They will need to meet setbacks now because now permits are needed. It
Yeah.
will be required.
So,
Still
okay.
the
And still-
50% lot coverage.
Correct.
and
That's an
everything.
ag exempt, correct?
If they're ag exempt, that's we don't want to talk about that. Oh, yes. Ag exempt is a different. In the RA zone, properties will be no limit, industrial, no limit of those. But if a property claims ag exempt for cargo containers, they will need to prove, and it has to be reviewed as such. And then planning and zone will determine,
Ag
yeah,
exempt
these
topic.
qualify as an ag exemption.
Thank you.
One of the main keys is size. It has to be 5 commercial contiguous acres that equal to 4.13 regular acres.
Yeah.
Regardless of zoning, as long as it's used for agricultural uses.
And they've got to be painted. They've got to, what I'm worried about is just you start putting a bunch of these rusted out cargo containers in backyards and property
Oh.
values are going to die.
So you're opposed to rainbows, Darren?
Yeah.
Okay.
In
They're
order for
worried about
that,
the foothills, huh?
That's what I was reading. They've got to be required to be painted.
yeah, there you go.
So,
Within
so you want us to send it back to the,
To start a text amendment with the proposed text,
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to revert this to planning and zoning to initiate the text amendment.
I'll second.
I'm sorry, what?
You want to open it to the public?
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you already did, I'm sorry.
yeah, I did.
Oh, you
I brought
did?
it back.
Remove myself.
Or didn't I? No, that was the other item, yeah. Okay. I'll go ahead and open up the public hearing.
He knows he's ahead, so we need to leave it.
I'm gonna be quiet while I'm winning.
Mr. Chairman, my motion stands.
I'll go ahead and close the public hearing and bring it back.
Okay. I make a motion that we send this back to planning and zoning to initiate the text amendment.
I'll second that.
There's a motion and a second to return this item to the planning commission to initiate the text amendment. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The motion is to kick it down the road and bring it back when we feel like.
Thank you, Toya. Item number 4. Possible text amendment to the Yuma County zoning ordinance addressing accessory dwelling units. Let's see if Tony.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Javier Barraza presenting discussion item. The proposal here is amend sections 202 definitions and sections 310 accessory dwelling unit, adding accessory dwelling units as permitted uses in section 601.02, 602, 603, all the way through 642, and removing accessory dwelling units from section 601.03W, which is pretty much a special use permit. So the sections listed here. And the intent of the proposed text amendment is to comply with the changes to Arizona revised statutes approved with House Bill 2928, adding revised statute 11-810.01. The bill was signed by the governor on May 23, 2025, and will become effective after December 31st, 2025. One urgency is if we don't adopt regulations in this regard, those accessory dwellings will be allowed with no limits. So we need to adopt this. The proposed changes are shown below. Text that is a strike-through format is intended to be deleted, and text in bold font is proposed new text to be added. In the section 202, we added definitions for accessory dwelling unit as listed, depicted in House Bill. Also adding gross floor area. And this is all the changes we're proposing. And this mimics what is proposed in the House Bill.
Does it mimic the city's adoption?
No,
how does it differ?
It's a difference. That's chapter 9.
Okay.
And but I haven't not read theirs.
Okay.
City of San Luis, I asked them, and since the population there is below that, they don't need to do allowed accessory dwelling as permitted uses. Okay. City of Yuma does. They allow accessory dwelling units under certain circumstances, but City of San Luis doesn't, even though it's a city. So, but.
Mr. Chairman Javier, Maggie, are you aware of what it compares to the city of Yuma? No. Okay.
But I have the House Bill. I can.
I mean, as long as it conforms to the House Bill, I just wondered what the city had proposed.
It's different.
Okay.
But slightly.
Okay.
And then we own, that's for section 310. And now we going through permitted uses on all different sections of the old residential. So we can mention that, for instance, they will be on smaller properties, they will be allowed to the main residence, one detached accessory dwelling unit, and one attached. If the property is more than 1 acre, it will allow a third one. Which will be paragraph B. So if you have a bigger parcel, it will be allowed to up to 3 accessory dwelling units by right. So these are permitted uses in all different sections throughout the zoning ordinance, and part of a special use permit where the need for a special use permit for accessory dwelling units will be deleted. Staff recommends, if no changes are suggested by the Board of Supervisors, staff recommends forward this item to the Planning Commission to initiate a text amendment to sections 202.00 definitions and 310.00 accessory dwelling units. Adding accessory dwelling units as permitted uses in sections 601.02 through 624. And accessory dwelling units from section 601.03W through 607.03E as a special use permit. And that concludes staff's presentation.
Okay, any questions for Javier? Thank you. I'll open up for Maggie. You're gonna.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to respond to Supervisor Lines' question about what the city adopted. I'm not sure what the city adopted, but the language in state law for cities in Title IX mimics what is in Title 11 for counties, for accessory dwelling units.
My only concern is people coming into the city, having been in the county, and making sure that we have conformity issues and that we've got the same language as close as we can possibly get it.
Mr. Chairman, the recommendations for the draft text amendment are pretty much drawn from the language in state law.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Maggie.
You're welcome.
I'll go ahead and open up the public hearing. Anybody from the public wishes to address the council?
My first time here, do I give this paper?
You don't, yeah, you can, or give it to staff right there, but you can go ahead and.
Okay.
Be fine.
And welcome for your first time here.
Yes, yeah.
Was it educational?
Where I work at Arizona at Work. I mean, not affiliated today why I'm here, right? But that's where I've seen some of you guys before. But I just wanted to speak on this. You know, as you guys know, there is a housing crisis. Back when this was adopted by the governor when she brought this in, I got excited because around that time, so prior to this, I was a church planter for a long time. If you've worked in ministry before, you know there's not a lot of money in ministry. So my wife and I kind of decided to work full time in that and not really lurk into buying a house at that time and things like that. When we were ready to look for a house, as you guys know, it just went up, like, you know, it inflated. Prices are kind of up. I remember looking at a property when we first started looking, close to where my parents first, when they moved to Yuma, back in the 70s, around there. They bought a property in Yavapai, close to that area. We went out and they told me they purchased that for $25,000 back in the day. We went out the other day and property was selling there about 280, 300 is what they were asking. So obviously, you know, the price has really gone up and we need to find a way, I think, to keep costs down. And additional dwelling units are perfect, especially for our situation. We're really looking into, my parents are getting older. We want to be able to take care of them. They live on 2 acres. And it's really funny because where they live on 3E and 15 and a half, there's trailers right next to us, but we're not allowed to build something in the back that will give them their independence, but still, you know, us being able to take care of them. We're trying to look into building something there. I know we can get a special permit, but, you know, I really saw this and I think I'm passionate about helping people, and I think this will help a lot of people in our same situation, that they have plenty of land. It's not like, you know, 2 acres is more than enough to build an additional house, where we could build something with no kitchen, but that really takes away their independence. That's us saying to them, hey, we're going to build you something in the back, but you're still going to be dependent on us. I don't think anyone who's getting older wants to feel dependent. They still want to feel somewhat independent. And so that's really what we want to do, to be able to do things like that in Yuma County. And with this housing crisis, I think multi-generational homes is kind of the way that things are shaping up to be. And if we can build together as families in one area, I think that's perfect. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Your name?
Yes, Daniel Montero.
Thank you, Daniel.
Come back and see us.
Yes. Anybody else with the public? I'll go ahead and close the public hearing and bring it back to the board.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we forward to this item to planning and zoning to initiate the text amendment to sections 202, et cetera, et cetera.
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second to forward the item to the Planning and Planning Commission as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Rezoning.
You still here with us?
I'm still here.
Wow, Javier. You got a full plate today.
Reversion public hearing in accordance with section 404.01I, that's 7 of the Yuma County zoning ordinance. The board will conduct a hearing to grant an extension of time to comply with the schedule for development, determine compliance with the schedule for development, or cause the property to revert to its former zoning classification in the following case. Item number 1, rezoning case number 0134.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Javier Barraza presenting rezoning case 01-34. As you mentioned, it's presented for reversion or granting an extension of time. This is the original zoning map back in 2001. It's a hatch on the center of the map. This is current zoning map. Highlighted in orange is the subject parcel. Outlined in red is an aerial view. This is from 2022. This was the conceptual layout presented the first time. On April 16, 2025, staff received an email from the owner's representative requesting an extension of time of 5 years. This time, the board has the following options: either granting extension of time to comply with the schedule for development, or revert the zoning to its original RVP zoning classification. Due to its longevity, staff is recommended reverting the zoning to its original zoning classification of RVP. That concludes staff's presentation, and the representatives are here.
Can we hear from the representatives, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, any questions for Javier?
No, this was back in 01?
2000.
When it was 2001, when it was, how many times has it come before us for?
This will be the third time.
Yeah, in 2018, and then again in 2023. And then in, yeah, okay. Thank you, Javier. I'll go ahead and open the public hearing.
Chairman, members of the board, thank you. My name is Jill Estes. I'm with Keller Williams Yuma, and I'm actually representing the owners of the property of Mina de Fortuna. Over the past several years, they have had some changes in their family and their business opportunities and in their plans, and they have they're definitely now motivated to be looking at the property for either new projects or for a potential sale to a new owner. They are requesting to keep the broader scope of the RVS zoning so that it allows for more permitted and conditional uses, making the property far more versatile and appealing to not only themselves, but also to any additional owners that may be coming into the process. They have started working with Foothills Utility to see if they could get in with the CCN expansion, and are hoping that we would be able to consider a 5-year extension of the current zoning that they have. Thank you.
Any questions for, thank you. Anybody else for the public?
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Aaron Selly. I'm not specifically against this project at all. I am against certain people getting a zoning like this and then just sitting on the property with absolutely no development taking place over such a long term. More specifically, we have changed RVS between the time it was applied for and what it is now. At the time, RVS was able to have 18 units per acre, and now we've shrunk it down to 5. So even if you consider allowing them to have this extra 5-year extension, if you could make them at least conform to our new RVS regulations as part of that extension, that would be in the community's best interest. Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we hear from Javier or Maggie?
Okay. Anybody else from the public? I'll go ahead and close the public hearing and bring it back to the board. We have a
Do they, well, I kind of want to hear though.
Javier?
Would they have to conform under the new RVS?
Mr. Chairman, no, because this was approved by this board back in 2001. They're still under the previous. Needs to be able to develop probably as it is, because that's is anything that now is rezoned to RVS gets the 5 dwelling units per acre top limit. But anything prior to that, since this was approved back in 2001, the RVS remain as it was before. If in the case it gets reverted and they come back and try to rezone RVS, then we'll need to comply with the new RVS.
Mr. Chairman, I got a question for the applicant. Jill, how many times has this property flipped?
It hasn't.
It hasn't? Same people?
Same people. I don't think they've had it for sale though. It is for sale now, but they have not had it for sale in the past. They always had plans to move forward.
Jill, you want to step up? Sorry, so we can get you on the mic.
They did have plans to move forward, and then some familial things happened in their personal lives, and they've decided to kind of go a different direction and see what options are out there. So they do want to try to make it as marketable as possible for them to, and of course, there are a lot of other setbacks in the development process for that property as well.
Is that in a wash area?
Some of it is.
It's in the wash.
How many lots do you think are affected by that?
It goes right up to their other RV park that was sold before, and then to the east, the east, there's RV parks as well, or RVS zoning, I should say.
Javier, do you have an additional map with a
Thank you,
wider
Jill.
view? Thank you, Jill. All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
Can you go back to that photo? The satellite? At the end of Masterson.
So on this, Javier, have they, I mean, any drawings or something since, nothing, just.
No
We
activity?
just approved it back in, well, Tony did, he was here. But nothing that they turned in.
None of this.
However, I'm not opposed to somebody putting it on the market and try to get some movement with what they've got, especially in this area. They haven't had any development in here for a very long time. So if you could kickstart that area, I wouldn't be opposed to it.
But then again, too, they've got to get Foothills Utilities.
They've got to get, I mean, they've got some hoops to jump through,
I
right?
don't know if I would give them 5 years. I mean, I think if they
Maybe
wanna
2.5?
sell it 2.5, we'll go in the middle, that'd be 30.
36 to a 24?
30 months.
30 months?
30 months, yeah. I mean, 'cause I don't see any movement. I mean, since 2001. If they really wanted to sell it, they could have sold it, you know, a while back with how it is.
Well, I think it needs to comply with the current new
Well,
regulations.
but then you'd have to revert and come back.
I know, but, so.
I understand.
So,
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we go 30 months.
okay. There's a motion. Is there a second?
I could go with that. I'll second it.
There's a
That's your
motion.
area, Darren.
But that gives them, like I said, 30 months to get it sold or do something.
All right, there's a motion and a second to give 30 months
Javier, what's
with
the-
what they have.
Mr. Chairman?
All those in favor say aye. Oh,
Aye. No, that's fine. Aye. Mr. Chairman,
Any
Javier.
opposed?
Nay.
All
I
right.
apologize for
That's
interrupting.
right.
I just wanted to ask Javier, on reversions, what's the longest that we've gone without? How many extensions have we given against reversions?
That's up to the board.
Yes,
The
but-
next case will, I think it's hard to tell going back in time. We've been sometimes extending, granting,
But not
extensions
very
of time
many.
for older cases.
This is the third or
This is
fourth?
the third one.
Okay.
And for instance, the next one is the fifth. So
Yeah.
I think that one is the one of
This
the,
one would be the longest that we've done.
for this particular one, yeah, third. This is to be the third version. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The next case is the fifth.
So Jill, 30 months.
Yeah, 'cause, I think if you see, it was in 2001 that was granted for, or scheduled for development, what was approved. And then in 2018, they came back, and I do recall, I think I was the one that brought it up and said, why are we looking at this? It was 18 years since we saw it again.
Yeah.
24.
Which is, but at that
Yeah.
time. So I just wanted to make sure that things are not on the books for the longest time, and either they do something or we revert it back.
That's right.
30 months.
30 months. So that was 3-1.
Like I said, they've got a lot of,
You were opposed?
a lot
I
of things
was
you're gonna have to
opposed. I
jump
wanna
through to
go-
make it
I
happen.
wanted to revert back so that they have to go comply with the new regulations.
All right, thank you. Moving on to item number 2. Javier's still here. Yeah,
the rest of
rezoning
the
case
day.
number 07-35. Javier?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Javier Barraza, Senior Planner, presenting a rezoning case 07-35. Thank you. And in accordance with section 404.01 I-7 of the Yuma County zoning ordinance, action to grant an extension of time to comply with the schedule for development or revert a property to its former RA10 and R140 zoning classification. This is the original zoning map showing the subject parcels crosshatched to the center of the map. This is the current zoning map. The zoning is PD. This was a conceptual map presented back in 2007. An aerial view showing the subject parcel and the current stage, SNAG, outlined in blue. On August 21st, 2025, staff received an email from the owner's representative requesting an extension of time. A time frame was not included in the request, and they mentioned that they will have a representative with an actual request, a formal request for that, and that person is here today. The Board of Supervisors has the following options: grant an extension of time to comply with the schedule for development, or revert the zoning to its original zoning classifications of RA10 and R140. Staff recommends, again, due to longevity, 18 years, to its original RA10 and R140 zoning classifications. As I mentioned before, this is the 5th attempt or extension request. That
Javier,
concludes staff presentation. Yes, Mr. Chairman.
has this land changed ownership from the original development?
Yes. It was acquired by the bank and then this current owners.
So
I think
there was a developer, then it was repoed.
Yep.
Sold again, right? Or
Yeah.
that process.
And then this.
So this is a new owner from the original. Okay.
Correct, yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure I had it correct.
Any other questions for our staff? Okay, thank you. I'll
Question.
go ahead and,
I
yeah,
have,
for
I'm
staff.
sorry, Javier,
Yes, ma'am. Oh,
nothing's been planned on here? I mean, do you have I don't see I've
I
been
think it's in
looking-
alfalfa right now.
I know, but there's the plan, the map plan. Does this map plan follow our new regulations or our old regulations, and how would it change, how would that be?
It follows current regulations. It's a PD zoning. So whatever was listed in the narrative of .PD, they will need to comply if they ever come and develop these properties.
Okay, so they would have to follow the current regulations that we have now.
Correct.
I wanted.
Yes.
Thank you.
And it's not the same applicant as original.
And it
that
has a
asked
different
for
owner.
The extension.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a new applicant. Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you, Javier. I'll go ahead and open up the public hearing and
Tell us a story.
Well, good
Yeah.
morning, right? Welcome, Mr. Chairman. Adrian Vega, Dow Robinson Associates, 1560 South Fifth Avenue. So we were engaged by the current agent to represent him on this meeting to request a 3-year extension. So this will be the continuation likely of Tuscan Ranch. Tuscan Ranch, it took a while for that property to develop, and it's still going. It's getting there. So these new developers looking at the opportunity to continue this phase and currently working on that. So we're hereby requesting a 3-year extension.
They've been averaging like a house a month, right? Maybe a little bit more.
It's been very slow, Mr. Chairman, on these acreage lots. It doesn't go as fast as single-family small lots.
Yeah.
Well, and the interest rate.
Yeah.
I'm here to questions if you guys have any.
any other questions for? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we grant the extension for the rezoning case number 07-35.
And that is what
3 years.
extension? 3 years?
3 years.
All right.
3 years, correct, Javier? That was a recommendation?
No, we actually recommend to revert.
Oh, you recommend to revert?
They want.
Yeah. Yeah. You're asking
They
for
wanted
3 years,
3 years.
sorry. Yes, for the 3 years.
Okay, I'll second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to rezone, extend the rezoning on case number 2126 for 3 years.
07, Mr. Chairman, 0735.
No, 0735.
0735. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay.
You're still with us?
Going on to item number 3.
Took short straw.
Rezoning case number 21.
I hope so, huh?
No, embraced. I feel embraced. Yes, Mr. Chairman. Javier Barraza, Senior Planner, presenting rezoning case number 2126 in accordance with section 404.01 I-7 of the Yuma County Zoning Ordinance, action to grant an extension of time to comply with the schedule for development or cause the property to revert to its former R18 zoning classification. Once again, this is the original zoning map showing the subject parcel crosshatched to the center of the map. This is the current zoning map. The property is currently conditionally zoned SSB-2. This is, they want to create 5 parcels. This is the site plan submitted at time of in 2021. Another review. On June 19, 2025, staff received an email from the owner's representative requesting an extension of time of 5 years. The board has the following options: grant an extension of time to comply with the schedule for development or revert the zoning to its original R18 zoning classification. Staff recommends granting an extension of time of 5 years to comply with the schedule for development. This is the first extension they request.
Is the owner here?
The applicants are present.
Okay, any questions for Javier? Thank you, Javier. I'll open up the public hearing. And this is on this side.
Vegas were well represented today.
Mr. Chairman, again, Adrian Vega, Dow Robinson Associates. So we hereby request a 5-year extension on this project. There's been some issues on access that we're dealing with the neighboring property owners. So we're working through those issues, and the developer is looking to move forward as soon as that gets resolved. So he's okay with all the conditions of approval, and I'm here for questions.
Mr. Chairman, do you anticipate any of those issues coming before us as a condition to develop?
Mr. Sherman, I don't believe so. I think it was brought up on the original hearing. We weren't the original agent. We took it over after that. But yeah, we're working with the neighbors and staff to fix those issues. So.
And the neighbors, no complaints, no?
At this point, no, everything is moving forward. So.
I move that we,
Well, let me close the public hearing.
oh, close your public hearing.
Yeah,
I had to beat Jonathan here.
I just want to say.
Is it your district?
Close
It's Darren.
close to that area.
No,
there
that's
were-
fine.
Oh, it is? Oh,
There
then
were-
go ahead.
No, you're fine.
There was a,
Your husband's going to tell you you had to get the last word in.
I know.
there was a developer there that also they had a lot of issues with some of the neighbors there, so that just became back and forth with us, and we saw it many times until they fixed it. I preferred for that to happen before it comes here,
Yeah.
because honestly, sometimes you get many neighbors that don't like what they're seeing, and so I'm just saying there. So
Thank you for
it's
working on
fixed,
it. Yeah.
yeah, before it comes to us, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing and bring it back to the board.
Go ahead, Lynn.
I move that we approve a 5-year extension for rezoning case number 2126.
I'll second that.
There's a motion and a second to approve.
I never get a word in.
I'll third it.
You guys, what are you talking about?
Rezoning case number 2126. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Javier, it was good to
Thank
see
you,
you today.
Javier.
Good to see you, Javier, for 5 hours.
Get a drink.
Thank you, Maggie.
That was a marathon session. Oh.
Alejandro, legislative issue.
Javier, you stole your time.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Alejandro Figueroa, Economic Development and Intergovernmental Affairs for Yuma County. I'll start off the update with state. There we go. So Senate Republicans just released their updated staff roster. Similar to what we saw from the House a few weeks ago. The most notable change, Fletcher Monsingo has been promoted to Deputy Chief of Staff. He's someone we worked with before on appropriations and finance issues, and he's well respected. Other key names include Josh Credit as Chief of Staff, Rusty Crandall as General Counsel, and Kim Quintero continuing as Director of Communications. Several new policy advisors have been added across important committees: Judiciary, Military Affairs, Natural Resources, Education, and Health and Human Services. We'll begin building relationships with them in advance of next year's session. On the Democratic side, no staffing changes have been announced yet, and so far there have been no staff departures during the interim. Last week, there were a couple of committees, interim committees happening. The Joint Ad Hoc Committee on Correctional Practices and Facility Safety heard testimony from the Department of Corrections. And then we had the Joint Ad Hoc Committee on Family Court Orders. This committee is focused on identifying problems in family court processes. They've been hearing directly from parents, children, attorneys, and experts to try and map out solutions. So last week, Governor Hobbs sent a letter to her Budget Director Ben Henderson to state agencies with guidance for fiscal year 2027 budget requests. The key message to agencies was that they should be very conservative, limiting their increases to no more than 2%. This caution is tied to concerns about what Director Henderson called a, and I quote, federal funding cliff, end quote, caused by recent federal policy changes on spending and taxes that will hit the state budget. Henderson emphasized that this is not the year to ask for major new general fund investments.
Raise caution.
Former Appropriations Chair and now Senate Majority Leader John Kavanaugh publicly agreed with the cautious approach, but he did flag one concern. He noted that while some agencies could handle tighter budgets, others, like public safety, might legitimately need more than 2%, the 2% cap.
ADWR and ADQ as well. Go ahead.
So the main takeaway is that both governor's office and legislative leadership are signaling a very cautious fiscal environment heading into fiscal year 2027. On the federal side, USDA has announced a significant reorganization, moving thousands of federal employees out of Washington, D.C. into 5 regional hubs, including Fort Collins, Colorado, and Salt Lake City, Utah, which are the most relevant for Arizona. The goal is to reduce costs and bring USA closer to its customers, but it means fewer staff in D.C. and more regional consolidation. For counties like ours, this matters because USDA delivers critical services like nutrition programs, rural broadband, agriculture support, and economic development funding. While USDA says core services will continue, we may see changes in staffing, points of contact, or timing of program delivery. NACO has already submitted feedback, and USDA has opened a comment period through September 30th. On the international front, as you might have seen in the news today, Secretary of State Marco Rubio met with President Claudia Sheinbaum from Mexico. Their conversation will be centered on migration, or was centered on migration, trade, and cartel activity. For Yuma County, this high-level talks matter a great deal. What happens at the federal and binational level directly impacts our daily reality, whether it's efficient port operations or for agriculture and manufacturing or security coordination along our border. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, that will conclude my presentation.
Any questions for Alejandro?
Thank you,
Thank you,
Alejandro.
Keep the current summary of current events and go into executive session.
Okay. Do you want to skip them and go to, okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Will that work?
I'll second that
Wait.
motion to go into executive session.
I'll move to, yeah, second, okay.
There's a motion and a second to go into executive session. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Like 3 minutes so we can clear the board. We'll stay.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve and authorize the chairman to sign and submit the Purdue Direct Settlement Subdivision Participation and Release Form.
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second to approve and authorize the chairman to sign and submit the Purdue Direct Settlement Subdivision Participation and Release Form. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Now, what
All
wasn't
right.
clear? What wasn't clear?
Meeting adjourned.
Visual coordinator.
Oh, I know.